Okay, good morning, everyone. It is dark in here. Oh, oh no, it is dark.
Nice. And peak.
From the darkness, AnneMunition. Oh, you know what it is? The lights in the background aren't on because they're on a timer. That's a little better, but...
Nice.
Where's the sunlight? It is 5:30 in the morning. The sun has not risen. Why would there be sunlight? Why would there be sunlight at 5:30 in the morning? It's too early. I'm pretty awake, actually. I feel pretty good. I woke up just over an hour ago. So I took Rhea for a little walk. The cat is roaming. We are ready. I am not at all anxious about anything that's gonna happen today. Meow? That was such a loud meow. She's like, I don't understand what's going on, but I'm here for it. I'm excited. We're out and about. It's early. Normally she's still in the bedroom for like 2-3 more hours. Which alarm was the lucky one? I woke up on the first alarm. I woke up at 2 a.m., I woke up at 3 a.m., and then I woke up at my first alarm. At like 4:15, 4:20. Yeah. I think I was so anxious about not waking up that then I woke up just constantly. I was that stressed out. No, you're joking, but if I'm serious. Okay, let's see. How loud is this gonna be? It's gonna be too loud. Turn that down and turn this up, I think. I mean, I went to sleep at 10:30. I woke up at 4:15-ish, so I got just under 6 hours of sleep. Wasn't bad. I wonder who's casting the next game, actually. Is it gonna be the same duo as the Elevate one? I'm sad for Elevate. I was really hyped, actually. I was hoping Elevate would win. Not that I wanted W7M to lose, but I think it's just, like, I like rooting for the underdog, you know? Something important. Yeah, I wake up just every hour until the time I actually need to be awake, so. Yeah. Anyways. You guys will have to let me know for the volume once they actually start talking and stuff like that. It was a good game. I'm glad that they put up a fight, you know? They didn't just get, like, 7-0'd or whatever. She's just wandering around. She's like, what does the house look like in the dark?
Nice.
Probably looks the same to her, actually.
Don't panic.
Cats can see, like, well in the dark. Nothing's working. Thanks for the 42-month resub. Nimbus, thank you so much for the gifted subs. As always, also thank you for the 51-month resub. Thank you. Fishka, thanks for the 48 months. K-Map, thanks for the 93. Dr. Jackal with the 83.
Nice.
And Mutters, thank you for the 71-month resub. Those are some long resubs. Damn, 93 months K-Map. Thank you. And Amanda Conda, thank you for the 31 months. Welcome back. This bridge is really cool. Oh yeah, that's actually true. What is this strange contraption on the screen chat? Because they were just casting for like 3 hours, so. I feel, I mean, I guess I'm in the minority that I felt like they need like more experience. There were quite a few times where they would say words that didn't exist, and I think it's like a product of when you're trying to talk fast about what's going on at the same time, and your brain like is getting ahead of what you're saying. I noticed that a lot with both Dev and Mandy, I think the woman's name is. Or they'll do what I do when I'm streaming, where they'll be like talking and then trailing off in the middle of a sentence and then trying to pick up where they left off. But hello? He's talking. So this is a private conversation for the crowd, not for us. I can't hear you. Hello?
Maybe. Oh, hello. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Rainbow Six Berlin Major. How's everybody
You're
doing
muted?
after that first series? That was good, right?
Muted?
Now, I know a lot of the crowd have gone to check out the merch stands and all that good stuff, but for those of you who are still here, we really appreciate you being back at the first Siege LAN in Europe for what feels like forever. So, do you feel nice? Does it feel good to be amongst the Siege family again, right? Is it good? Especially when we're kicking off with banging series like that. And the good thing is, we are literally just getting started. Not only do we have all of the other quarterfinals coming up here today, but also we've got 2 more full days of Siege coming your way with lots of surprises in between. So whether you're watching at home or you bought a ticket to be here in person, you made the right decision, because we're going to be having a lot of fun here in Berlin. Who's ready for the second quarterfinal?
Me.
Hey,
I'm ready.
Good. I said who's ready for the second quarterfinal? All right.
Oh god, that's when you know we're too early. If it's an Australian-friendly
It
stream.
is last lifeline. Will they be raising the flag this weekend?
How's the volume for you guys? Should I make it louder? I feel like there's like no one in the crowd right now. I feel kind of bad for them. It's good? Okay, I'm gonna turn on my headset then, because it's quiet for me, but it's loud for you.
The tournament. A team, as you can see, brimming.
I really liked the graphic design for a lot of this major, but I'm not liking the scaffolding, because it feels like we can see the stage that we're not supposed to see.
As we bring out the next team.
No, but like when they show the crowd, there's like mostly empty seats. Growling onto the stage. I hate this music.
A mix of youth, experience. It's eclectic, wearing black and orange. They are
Orange?
here
Is that orange or is that yellow?
and ready to get the job done. Now, before we
Fromage
bring
hates
them
this.
up here onto the stage for the handshake and to get in position,
Let's go fromage and
into the second
fromage and
quarterfinal,
yay.
She actually told me that she wasn't walking out on the stage, so I would say yellow, yeah. I feel like it's yellow.
I feel confident playing Wolves first game. I don't think they stand a chance. I think we're gonna beat them and it's gonna be an easy game.
Well, I hope you get.
Our
No, I'm
strategy against Wolves will be trust the defaults, play our own game and punish their game.
Oh woo ooh,
and,
let's
we
go
can-
Oh,
team.
woo ooh.
And
No.
apple.
Charlotte was the first
Get your
major for a few
anime
of
outta
my
here.
teammates, so I feel like we gained a lot of experience and we're a lot more ready this event, and I feel like this is our major to win. My impression
They have
on
cool
Wolves
jerseys.
is a
Khaleesi,
solid
what's up?
team. They got first in the UO. I think they have potential, but here we're
They
in the big
have
leagues. This is a
potential?
major. They don't stand a chance against us.
I think we are feeling pretty confident to play against Ixet as the first match of our playoff, for the simple reason that they have the same game style.
Oh,
and we do.
sorry, I was, like,
It's
trying
the
to
best
adjust the
matchup for
volume
us. It's gonna be a
earlier.
good fight, yeah.
It should go away,
I
right? Yeah,
think
there we
the
go.
strategy we are aiming against Ixet is basically not falling in their very aggressive gameplay in attack and trying to isolate players in our own attacks and try to capitalize on their mistakes. So to the Ixet guys, I hope you guys are good for a good fight, right? Because we have the best French Canadian in our team. Sorry, spirits.
To the best French Canadian. They teleported upstairs. Oh, they're so cute and tiny. Look at them scooching. What is going on?
These
No
two
one's talking to
teams
us?
will make
Okay.
the semi-final. The other will exit the competition here in the quarterfinals.
Will
It is time
exit
to
the
shake hands
competition?
and take your
It's already in
seats.
their name.
Exit and Wolves.
They're exiting. Oh, man.
And we are back again on the analyst desk. It's time to fill everybody in on our.
They look
next
like it's 5 a.m. for them.
matchup.
No, I think they're all just ready to,
Going
you know,
up
they're
against
ready to
North
get started.
American Team in an X set. An X set
Got 'em.
carrying more Brazilian flags than anything else. I'm just gonna point that out real quick here, Justin Jacob.
Listen,
But we're in, so let's talk about them. It's your bread and butter, right? We can start off with X set and what they'd have to show because I think it was a
Oh,
big surprise. to
hell
see
yeah.
the
Fluke
Suns
just
go
tweeted
to
that
the
she's
top
casting.
four,
She and
now even more
have
into
her
playoffs.
casting.
That's a hell of a way.
I think they're my
for sure.
favorite
I mean,
duo
this is
now.
a team that I think we've seen have their ups and downs throughout the NAL. They are now the most consistent North American team of the year, the only team to go back-to-back top 8. But I think there are still moments of inconsistency that you could look back on for this roster and see some problems. And I think the big one here is one of the two French Canadians in this matchup. Spirits has been one of those guys that's kind of been hot, kind of been cold. He's so good when he's on, but there have been some matches, especially in the NAL regular season, where he wasn't necessarily having the impact that he needed to. So I think Exit certainly, you know, not the team that most of us thought would be the sole North American representative here, but they're still a strong roster. I think they really can bring it to the Wolves.
Yeah, but think about what they've done successfully so far. The single biggest concern we had after stage 2, how are they going to be on attacks? Because they were 6th place, middling only about 1 point above average in that department in stage 2. What have they done when they come here? Number 1 attacking team out of 16 international squads. They are 15.5 points above the average on attack by itself. And that's even in spite of there being some concerns over who's even meant to be playing Finca. That's the responsibility Spirits and Gomez both share in tandem. And yet Kino is the breacher, the Thermite, and he's top fragging. If you play Thermite in your ranked squads, watch what Kino does, because that's exactly what you're meant to be doing.
If I watch Kino, will I just aim better?
Probably.
Because I definitely need more of that.
You know,
I'm a Legion one trick, have been since 2018.
He aced on Thermite in his first ever professional round.
That's true.
The man's been doing it literally since he stepped on the server for the first time. with
Let's
OXG.
go,
And this
Wolves.
X-Set team,
And
like
Amber.
Jesse mentioned, is now the single most consistent North American squad in this entire major format period. Astralis couldn't be here, Dark Zero couldn't be here, OXG couldn't be here. It's just the Brazilians, an American, and one mean old French Canadian.
Well, look, you're talking all of this. Oh, exit this, exit that. But what about Wolves on the other side? Because if I'm not mistaken, they're also a pretty darn good team.
That they are, Milos. I mean, Wolves are the top team coming in from France. I mean, taking that crown over BDS, who have
from
historically been
Europe,
that #1 French
all of
team.
Europe.
They've really fallen off, but Wolves have been that team that have slotted in and filled in their place. I think a lot of people were shocked by the plays that we saw from Wolves at the very start of the EUL. They were undefeated for so long in Stage 2. Now, it didn't last forever. They eventually did drop a couple games, but still, for a lot of people, Wolves were one of the favorites to win this entire event coming here into Berlin. I think they're a squad that are going to have some fan favorites in the crowd. That home team advantage always does show up big, but I think for Wolves especially, this is going to be a tournament that they really are looking to come home with the W.
Lots of big plays from guys like Mowgli, and these dudes are like insane enough to go for bar stage defenses, of all things. So on defense, that was the primary motivator specifically. They were phenomenal back in EUL, and they're keeping that exact same form here. It hasn't really changed that much. They were the best team in the EUL on defense, and they're the second best team in the world behind W7M, who themselves were miles above the entire field. Now it comes back to still a pretty respectable
cool
average
trophy.
on D, and that's exactly what we're hoping will still continue here.
All right, from then on, that's your introduction for both of our squad, Wolves and X-Set. What maps will we be playing in this series? Again, all here is best of 3 until we hit the final.
Oregon
And we
fucking
go
again!
Ban.
Oh my
That
god,
is
all I
good.
watch is Oregon.
Up after that is X-Set's pick. They go to Chalet, and our decider.
See, look at
we
the
need
crowd.
will be Oregon.
There's not a crowd,
So,
there's like 20
let's look
people.
at this from the macro point of view. Is there a clear winner in this?
I don't think so. I think this is a map ban phase that both these teams are going to be pretty comfortable on. I think that you always like the biggest worry I had for Wolves actually coming into this was that they do have a bit of a weak map pool, right? There's a lot of maps.
Like,
they
is
don't
everyone
play.
just
They've
in the
never played
lobby
Team, they've never played
getting
Sky,
food and
they
stuff, or?
rarely play Border and Cafe. They've done nothing but lose on recently.
All of which have been their permabans so far.
Yes, they've banned the exact same maps every single game through groups, basically through the entirety of the EUL as well. They've not had a deep pool, but still they walk away without really having to deal with any of those, right? Clubhouse, Chalet, okay, great. They play both of those maps, and then Oregon as well. This is a map they play.
Oh,
Exet,
wait, I forgot this is a best
they're
of
not gonna
3.
be
Okay,
fools.
they're
They
playing
obviously know
Clubhouse
what they're
first.
doing in this
Clubhouse
map
and then
phase,
Chile.
But forcing Wolves to not play
And
on
then
one
Oregon.
of those maps that they have zero experience on in recent times feels like an odd decision.
Only if you look at the maps that XSET themselves also play, because they like Oregon, they like Clubhouse. If we
Yeah.
need 3, we're going to Oregon in the first place. The one that confuses me is Chalet. Yes, Wolves have played it a couple times in this group stage. It's not a map that XSET themselves have touched since stage 1, and when they did, they were only 1-1 on it. So when we head to map 2, it stands to reason that they've got something special saved up for it, because from a band point of view, they don't really do all that much with it. This very much feels like a map they're largely indifferent to.
Yeah, I'm really hoping we get to that map 3 as well,
scaffolding
because
thing is
Oregon
weird.
is so strong for both of these squads. You take a look at XSET, 7 plays this year, one of their most played maps. They've got a positive record. They've got 2 plays on it through groups. They lost to Rogues to start the tournament, but by the end,
Yeah, it feels
they
like
turned
a
Dom
like a
onto
BattleBots
7-1
tournament.
dominant win there. And then you take a look at Wolves on Oregon. They were 6-0, undefeated this year until Oxygen came in and ruined them in a game that didn't mean much for Wolves. Ruins my stat, but still a really strong performance, a really strong map from Wolves as well. So if we can get to that map 3, and I'm hoping we do, really like we
merch.
can see some
Yeah.
very high-level Oregon gameplay.
All right, so Clubhouse. It's for Wolves, from seeing them in EU League, it seems like they are incredibly comfortable, and not just an EU League thing, but currently, if you don't know how to play Clubhouse, you might as well not be playing.
Right.
So this should be one where XSET can hang with Wolves, but how can they do that? What's the X factors for both of these squads?
Well, the thing I think you can exploit if you're XSET is the fact that on attack, Wolves play this map almost the same way over and over and over again. It's the very same lineup, it's the same basic ideology, but it's also Clubhouse. It's one where you work through the same steps over and over
His
again.
mic is
That's
scratching
not
against his
necessarily
beard
anything
because
new.
it's too close to his
XSET
face.
have the ability
That's
to
what I'm
notice
hearing.
that and exploit that fact.
I was like, what is
because
that
There's
noise?
a lot of creative things that they can do on attack. They've shored
I
up
just
that
hear, like,
problem. They're not a mid NAL attacking team. They're now the best team in the world at it, at least for the course of this group stage.
Right.
They might be able to do it against a Wolves team that has already been proven to be formulaic on Clubhouse to an extent.
I think the thing as well for Clubhouse, like it's a map that requires like a lot of steps to it sometimes. Like there's a lot of utility play in getting open walls, clearing, hatches, using the floorboards to open things up. And I do feel like XSET really do shine in that aspect when they have to bring a lot of hard breach, Thatcher, whatever that might be. They've got a really killer support combo of both Diaz and Kino, who really can sometimes save the day. I think arguably the best support combo in this top 8 that we've got here in Berlin. You look at their stats through the group stage. Diaz, 32 deaths, 49 survival rates, 75 cost, all the best stats for survivability that we've seen throughout the group stage. And then Kino, 8 plants, topping the group stage with a number of kits on the ground. So that's a support combo you can rely on time and time again to put you in good position.
What's the combo on the other side?
I mean,
You're talking about Mowgli.
well, so no, but we'll talk about it to no end, but it's mostly the fact that Mowgli is the highlight player for Wolves. The man is, I'm not going to say a finger crutch, but that's mostly what he plays. That is the thing that has been the spearhead so far for a Wolves team when, back when they were Vitality, we're struggling to find something down the middle. It's because Rise seems like if he plays Sledge, it's quite passive. He's not the world's most aggressive player, and you're looking kind of for some other answer in the middle of that. P4 has shown up in a really nice way to complement Mowgli on the entry. So you're definitely not without additional options if for some reason one of them goes down. It's just more a matter of who can continue to clutch. Luckily, in the group stage, they have one of the highest 1vx stat of any other team in groups. They seem like everything is running on all cylinders at the moment. I just wonder how a team like XSET's going to break them.
So let's talk about Mowgli for just a moment here. I want to highlight players and really talk about them as the AnneMunition talk about has been the story so far. And Mowgli is an excellent player that we've had.
It's not
Found out
Mowgli.
recently he's been swapped out for Volps for this game. Make it clear for everyone. But this
There
is
you go.
some numbers on all of this. 117 expected performance score. So he's performing a minimum of 17% over the average player. 19 on entry.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy. And it's what we don't see here is it's 19 and 12. So it's not even like he's been in like a ton of opening engagements. I mean, he has, but he's winning such a high percentage of those opening engagements as well. That KD ratio as well, 80 to 63. The current kill leader here in Berlin, 80 kills more than anybody else. If you're looking at players that might reach that 100K mark, he's got to be the first one that you're expecting to get there. Assuming
Oh, I thought he was saying he has 80 kills more than anyone else, and I was like,
So, who takes map
but he
one?
means
Wait,
80 kills,
Game's ready.
comma, more than anyone
Okay,
else.
Yeah, I know.
Opposite of quick.
That's
Wolves.
my
Wolves take the first one.
Wolves Club?
Xset takes the first one.
All right, well, there you go. We have a European team
No.
playing. We're in Europe. Can I hear you? There you go. We got Wolves. We got Xset on the other side of Classic
Nova.
UNA. On to our casters.
Nova.
Enjoy half an hour.
Thank you very much, Milos. And we find ourselves here in Berlin. A pleasure to be up in this
Chewing on the
balcony
plant.
on this theater.
I didn't give her food because you normally don't eat for like an hour or two. But she's like, well, I'm awake now. I want to eat.
Up a little bit ahead of myself. Will EU be able to make sure that we have a guaranteed European finalist?
Well, that's it, because this is all NA really has.
Wait, are they gonna
left,
cast from,
regardless
like,
of
the
fact
side?
Whether they're a Brazilian team or not, it doesn't matter. The flag they come under here in the league was 4th NA seed, and yet that's all that they now have.
Nasir,
and
thanks
they
for the
only got
77
here
months.
because there was a change in
Charmel,
system,
thanks for the
because
40.
head-to-head,
Borjas, thank you for the
these teams
72.
have had it.
Just D5, thanks for the 51 months.
What's the reason
Carrie, thank you for the
here?
71.
We go in with the loud music.
This music is way too loud. What the
We're
fuck?
headed towards Club, a very basic map.
That looks
Stacked
terrible,
by
yeah.
sets you usually approach this on any
Khaleesi,
given
thanks for the
side.
44 months, and
So
Harry, thank you for the
fundamentals is
70.
what this comes down to some extent. He will have the better fundamentals here today. Will it be Wolves or Xset?
Oh, it's gonna be annoying.
We'll find out. First, the ban phase, of course. Are we going to see another Finka ban, perhaps? Maybe?
Maybe.
We'll see in a second.
Maybe. It's the
Maverick.
curious. I think the fun thing about seeing these sort of teams go up against it, obviously, we have a lot about Wolves on Clubhouse. We have a lot about Wolves on about 3 maps.
Yes.
Because they don't really, they don't really do many others outside of that. Obviously, we've got a 0 for 1 on the side of Xset.
It's
And then
interesting because they
actually,
have a big map
curiously,
pool
Shelley, we don't
that they
have any.
play like during the stage.
that
They,
is,
I don't know why they just
really
keep ending up on the
left
same
into the
maps.
dark here. Now, Hibana will be the second
I feel like
banned operator, so Heartbreach, as per
they play a
usual,
lot more maps
is
than
going
this.
to be denied at least a little bit here on Club. Cade also removed, even though the Thatcher is available, not wanting to deal with these Electroclaws. So with that, only really Bandit left, and Mute, of course, to keep these walls shut.
And locked off with a mirror. It's Club. It's Club.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's
Club. You don't have to really
part of it is
explain
the other
much to
team
depth
banning things that
of
they might
Club,
want
but
to
it's
play.
funny
Like
that
maybe
it's
they
often
didn't want
seen
to
as
pick
if
this
you've
map.
only just joined us as to why we have Xset and Wolves here. Skin of their teeth, Wolves. They haven't really been performing to the level that we wanted, not with any EU bias, but from EU production. We've seen them get to this position.
Yeah, does the stream
We
do
were
well?
like,
I don't know.
this is our
I was
EU
waiting
team.
for them to actually start
This is
like
the team.
the game.
This is the team that came in with that top seed, basically unchallenged for the majority of the season. Of course,
that?
they had that little bit of a
'Cause I didn't
slip
want
up
this to be
against
too loud
Secret,
either.
which might have given them a bit of a shake. But either way, we're getting in away. First prep phase here. It's Wolves that set up their defense. We're headed towards the basement. There's multiple ways you can go for
Is it
this.
good now or
Sometimes
more?
You do see just that church execute. Triple wall gets opened up, so there's the motorcycle hatch. But we could also see a pure armory take. Kitchen hatch gets opened up. You make sure you have thirds. And after that, blue might be a nice little extra to have. Of course, we don't know yet what
Move it,
Exit
Leonard.
wants to go for, but there is plenty of Heartbreach opportunity available as Finka stays on the board, but just changes hands. Thatcher as well. We see the potential of Heartbreach gadgets. Not the case this time, but of course we do have 2 exothermics.
Okay, and if I'm going to say Wolves have been underperforming, Xset overperforming. 4 huge performances across the board from those that got them here, but you've seen Kino jump towards the top and be one of the top performers. It starts with a bit of pressure. Over towards the Gym and Jacuzzi side, they're looking for those loose players, looking for the loose roams. You have the extension, the Mute, and the plays against it. A steady approach here, round a drop, and, well, Mowgli, can he slip and slink his way before things start to close around them?
Well, Xset's the 4th seed for NA, but they're the only remaining NA team in the entire tournament.
Down, so if pressure gets a bit too much, it's better to just fall back if you are a
Wolves are first
player.
seed in
Now,
EU.
CCTV has been opened up, and as we do see one of the Wolves players trying to return to
There's
a bit
someone
of a
right there, but he
pressure
doesn't see him.
point out there. Xset that is currently trying to hold
Oh, is he
many
not
of
in the
these
hallway?
long angles on the
I thought
outside,
he was in the hallway.
hoping that they might catch a roamer off guard.
I'm curious about how quickly Xset start to drive themselves into this. Because obviously we've
God,
seen them
he's
throughout
challenging
groups
this
and we see
window.
them lose the first game, and then from every single game afterwards, they took it by the scruff. Wolves, they found themselves battling an OT pretty consistently here, and all that came down to Xset's pace. It's been a bit slow across Club. Obviously, it's not their map preference. It's not where they want to bring the fight. But here, they're still sort of lost in the source. There's nobody that's holding onto Logistics window. Doesn't seem really like there's a bout of pressure coming onto the back of Jacuzzi. They're kind of just entirely stacked. And at this point, you're thinking, well, what are they going to do to try and actually take those Wolves players out of position? Not much.
Well, we've had 90 seconds now, and X said they need to make a decision. Are we going to continue this roam clear, or will we just hit the site? Now, Rise is coming up from the bathroom, is looking to find one of these players, but just on the wrong timing slip.
Oh,
so
Rise.
now holds his exit, but there's a second
he knows
player
there's
from
two.
Wolves coming around the corner.
Oh,
There's
nice!
the kick code.
The baited switch, lovely.
Down, right suffers around the bathroom. It's Spirits. The Thatcher's trying to get a bit of
That was
retribution
great.
for the
I
drop
loved
card
watching
shot,
that. That
but
was
the
like the
kick there
perfect
goes. The most
observer
important thing, a
like
minute on.
spot for that.
It can be recollected, but it's a dangerous door to do it on, especially
Because
if you
they
have, once
knew that
again,
Rise was on the right
nobody
side,
else
and then
in
Mobe
that
came from
position. And that's
the
something that
left.
XSET have done really, really well to get here, is always have a second body. Gomez decides he's going to see who and anybody is in the
Nice.
site,
Good,
but
good,
Yoga
good.
isn't able to offer him any support.
They're really
Peach
strong on
bottom of blue
defense, so
takes
I'm
him out
hoping
of it.
for a good defensive
Great
half
first
here.
round start here for the Wolves so far. Diffuser drops still. The roamers up on the top floor, not having been droned out or cleared out. Rise now getting into
Nice
a
Rise.
fight. Will find Spirits. It's a 2-on-5. Gomez drops
There we
as
go.
well.
Yeah,
he
start
has
strong.
In a 1v5. He needs to go for an ace clutch in this first round if he wants to make sure XSET starts us strong.
Well, I said we needed to see
Nice.
a higher performance and a flawless. You can't get much higher than
Good
that.
start.
The opening round,
Ruin their
the
mental
opening map,
early.
It's theirs.
Let's
For
do
now, it's still theirs.
A bit of a struggle from XSET. They, figured out, okay, Wolves is trying to go for the roam here. Wasn't quite able to get the clear out. They managed to get all the way up until construction.
Mobe
then they had
and
to
Rise.
make a
Rise took some
decision.
damage.
90 seconds have just passed. There's still 2, maybe even 3 players up on this top floor and middle floor. What are we going to do about it? It might be a bit too scrappy if they go for it straight away.
No,
So
it's
instead,
happening.
they decided to go for the site, maybe a bit more directly. Just cut down to that first floor and let the top floor be what it was. That might have been the wrong decision there. And with that, we have that first round in the pockets of Wolves.
So this is a timeout, and we've got it on our side. I don't think it was actually fully put across there, but that's an XSET timeout after round 1.
They called for a timeout?
It's a technical
It's a
one,
technical-
apparently.
Oh, it's a technical timeout. Yeah,
So
I was
they
like,
use the in-game timeout
Yes.
thing. It's a technical timeout.
So, as we head on, that first flawless round of Wolves, a small issue that needed to be fixed, but we're getting it away in just a couple of seconds again with round 2. Which,
You hope so.
we don't know where it goes yet. we can have a little bit of a view on where it's actually going to be headed as soon as the issue
You can't
is
spoil
fixed.
the surprise.
We're not going to spoil it. I'm just saying we can see it. Everybody can maybe see it now.
Squint.
Sharpen of eyes. There you go. Gym bedroom.
Gym bedroom.
they're still
Gym bedroom.
on a
And
pause,
hopefully
though.
the round will start rolling in just a moment. The thing about that, and it's always hard, you look at one round and you're like, what can we take away? By the one round at the beginning of a series, for me, XSET not being sure of where they wanted to go.
Yeah, there was roamers. They knew there was roamers. They just weren't quite able to deal with them in a quick and efficient manner. That Wolves to be out and about for a bit too long. And that kind of came back to bite them.
Yeah,
So,
I always want to know, like, what's going
flawless
on
round.
when this happens,
onto
you
the
know?
pockets of Wolves. Except they need to lead them with a bit more speed. Make sure that you might be having that hot drone. Getting ahead of Spirits or Gomez. Making sure that you are able to pick up 1 or 2 bodies. Force the Wolves to fall back towards the site so you do not have to worry about the rest of the building. Clubhouse is a big map. If you need to clear out every single room by a drone, you're going to be taking quite a lot of time.
An attack timeout? Yeah.
There's a bit of cheering.
There is a bit of cheering.
Oh, there it is.
Bieber.
There's Bibu. There's a lot of energy for Wolves.
Trying to start a couple of chants here.
Let's go, Bieber.
Let's go, Bieber, yes. Are we continuing with it?
We've already been tweeted by the NA audience saying they expected more
Yeah, we
from
have
EU
to
crowd.
say this. We got tweeted out by NA, guys, that our chants aren't good enough. So let's get creative, shall we?
Boo.
Sooner rather than later.
They're allowed to talk during timeouts.
Observer just called me out. Feels bad.
Yeah, the players can talk. The
Now-
coach isn't supposed to talk to the players. They can't.
Let's just
They're
be
in a
patient.
different, like,
We had that first
channel.
round, except they have a bit of time to talk about that first round. So did the Wolves, of course, but there's not much to talk about. Everything went quite well. They were able to shut down.
I'm just confused why it's a technical
whatever
timeout when
XSET
nothing
was
seems like
looking
it's
at them in that
happening.
first round.
Like,
And
none
they
of
would
the
like to
players
continue
look like
that
they're
way. They
fiddling
want
with
to make sure that they
anything.
get this first map under
Nobody's
control.
like doing anything.
High fives are being handed out.
Hopefully that means we're back in.
So I'm
Hopefully That
confused.
does mean that we're getting
Because
started.
like
Lulu's
the
getting over as well, so that does mean
Okay.
that we are getting back into the game.
yeah, like
All right,
wolves
cool.
or just like
The second round. The
what's
second
going
round, the
on,
second
and then
round,
Xset
we're
was
in
just
on
sitting there. So I was like, who's having a problem? Yeah, I guess the observer.
All right, Wolves, that was a hell of a start. Let's see how it continues at this point. A little bit of a break in momentum. Obviously, if you're new to that, the coaches couldn't speak to the players. The players had to have a breath and sort of go, what happened? Except the problem is nothing happened. You found yourself at the very end of a tether, and there was still no Wolves players on the sort of tip.
Maybe the observer crashed or something. Well, if the
Frost being
observer
rolled out,
crashed,
just of course to
oh yeah,
deny
that's
those
maybe
winner
the
hoppers
observer
straight
crashed.
away.
That's possible.
Grenades or even some verticality will be able to take care of those mats, so it isn't the end of the world, but they are out there to prevent any quick push. You can either go for the frost mat or you can go for the player on the other side of it, and that's a decision that has to be made. If you do not clear them out, you might be able to catch one or even two players out as a result. As we get going, one behind the rotation as well, so if logistics falls, and they do use the rotation into the vault, you might be able to catch off one of those players. And that might
yeah,
just
I
be
know
the
best.
difference
I've
maker once it does
been
come
watching
down to
Rainbow
these last
Six
couple of seconds,
esports
and the
for
just jumps in and gets downed.
4 or 5 years now.
Well, it seems like focusing towards the site. They're going a lot
I am no
quicker
stranger
onto
to
these
the
sort
many
of catch
ways that this
windows,
game
the
can break.
positions to punish those loose players. You have to try and force P4 Mowgli across the top of the board. See if you can get them into a tricky situation, as well as this. Grenades.
No
maybe
game
gonna play
has
themselves
more
underneath.
technical
Obviously,
issues than
there's
this
a little
one.
bit more secrecy than the Finker, but there's still a lot of soft and a lot of positions around that to hold on to this. If they break their way through onto the sort of bathroom in the swing round, yep, that should be a BB catch. Wrong side.
Oh!
Middle. Just a bit too much in the middle there, so
Yeah.
it's going to be the first
I don't think they were expecting the bandit trick.
The rest of Exit, hey, we need to deal
There was
with
a mute
that
jammer on it,
door.
wasn't there?
We could just look through. You could have denied him from that bandit trick. So, a bit of a mistake. Yoga more so inclined to watch CCTV, and it's of course the
There's
right choice.
no. Oh,
because,
they have ace. Okay.
you know,
There's
it
no
goes both
Hipponic.
ways. You can look through that window. Someone can look towards you. As Yoga will find Mowgli now.
Still mute jammered, I think.
First off the board, obviously came into this game as being one of the top gunners of the entire tournament, and the only positive KD on the side of Wolves. So he's
They messed up
definitely
their
got a little
grenade.
bit
They didn't get the
work
stuff off of it.
to make sure he keeps doing. There's the grenade
Take
over the
two.
top. There's Yoga finding out Rise on the far side, just keeping
Come
a
on,
watch
guys.
on the flank.
Come on,
Another
guys.
Wolves player falls. Just the Yoga holding onto the windows with the intel. They're trying to bite back, but they can't quite find the teeth around the player. P4. He's going to give himself a little bit more safety, a little bit more secrecy. There's still some pressure coming in underneath from the grenades, but with a minute on, they've been able to take 3 bodies and haven't even had to step foot in the site.
Now still someone on Jacuzzi balcony here, but P4 falls.
Ooh, the timing of that.
Out
Unfortunate.
of his gun right there, Shinka, the last man standing, the plant's going
Yeah.
down, but he gets shut down.
Man,
before
first flawless,
a
second
round
flawless.
to respond to the flawless round that Wolves was able to bring earlier on. And now, round 3 to be underway. Probably going to be CC or a run it back of the same site.
Yeah, it sucks when you have a
Which is
like.
completely different.
It sucks for either
Bar
side
to come out next.
when you have a good round or a good 2 rounds, and then you get a shitty like technical pause that's not even anything to do with your equipment, and then it just like takes away your momentum.
I think that round.
That happens way too much in
early doors,
Siege.
Still very early doors for this showdown. It was better from Xset. They sort of
I don't
shook
know.
off what happened on the first.
I don't know why. I don't understand
Obviously,
how they
the
can make
double
it look
stack up
better,
of
you
the
know?
players down underneath. They made sure there was somebody watching for this side. Yoga was able to get 3 from it. The first was a drop and a swing round based on the intel. That, I mean, they just had an entire read on any movement inside the site.
Yeah, that was a
great
nice
take
shot.
from Kino, who, as I said, has been that MVP for the side of Xset throughout this tournament. A response for a response.
Now it is actually going to be bar stage that is coming out, and if you want to have some little bit of context onto this side, the top floor is going to be important here. You want to make sure you keep control of construction, especially for the stage plant. If you do have control of that as defenders, you can use the hatch that is currently being portrayed onto your screen to deny any plant from happening. It's often where most gunfights will take place as well. The attackers will take care of CC, then they try and push on towards construction, leave 1 or 2 players out there, whereas the rest would start to try and go for a plant on the actual stage. Now, if you then, after that, lose that control of the construction area, that is going to be detrimental to your round. So, important to keep a hold of verticality here.
Hexet starting their approach once again with these early sort of bites a little bit closer to home towards the site. Before the first round, the one that fell apart from them, it was a very slow build and they seemed a little bit lost as to how to actually try and break their way through here. It's keen attention paid towards Rise inside logistics. The stretch of Bibu and P4, you want to try and take control of construction. You want to try and push them further and further apart. The Os is going to see if they can bring that roll those Talon shields around the corner, and just keep battering them. Because as soon as you've got control of that hatch, then you can get into stock, then you can get that wall open and see if you can try and stick a plant onto the stage.
2 minutes on the clock, plenty of timer for Xset. They start to push in though. The Ossa could be a very good operator to use here. Just that shield for an extra bit of visibility. Put a bit of pressure down onto Wolves as well, who are, of course, onto that defense. Exothermic gets used to open up the con wall. And Mowgli going prone right next to the door. He's hoping to go for a bit of a surprise here. Whereas Gomez, he's using this talent shield to cover up the hatch. As I said before, it's crucial.
Wolves aren't giving them anything. They're playing to the time and playing to the space. They know that it's territory that they can still sort of contest in a weird no man's land, and that's the idea. They've spotted the Oster shield. They'll expect somebody to suck their way around, so they cannot be entirely confident in holding the angles, but having that awareness, having that astuteness means that this push might be a little bit more dangerous. A very quick triple stack. They're making sure that that's an angle that they can slip and slink their way through. You can see some pressure. Mowgli going for a retake. There's entire Flood P4 with the swing round. DS gets one. Kino rotates back up with the kit to offer some support. They know how important it is to keep the territory, but it's Bibu.
Your little toesies.
And gets that kit cold. A massive swing round from P4. Puts it right back in the dirt. There's another player up on the side of the Gomez is the one that's trying to make the distance.
Bibu escaped with his life.
Isolated. Wolves are just running amok inside.
Nice, good.
Out of the gym window, lifts the body and slams it back down. Gomez is gone as well. And Wolves refused to let the verticality fall.
Man, these rounds have been one way or the other.
To keep control of verticality here. Wolves,
there's no like 1v1s right now. It's just 5v1, 4v1, 1v5.
They managed to get the trades into their favor. Now it's only up to Yoga.
13 seconds.
Not going to be able to do too much.
He has to get the kid. There's 4 players. It's not happening.
Being zapped to death just ever so slowly. The time is going to be running out.
Or Bibu rather.
P4 with the ending kill. But I do have to question.
Why am I rooting against NA? Because I'm dating the coach of the EU team.
Could have been anyone.
Fuck NA. I don't give a shit. I was just born here. That doesn't mean anything. Angry Ape, what's up? Thanks for the 84 months. Moving laterally. Thanks for 75 months. Vinny, thanks for the 29. Appreciate it. Thank you.
It was that sort of idea.
They're like not even really an NA team.
They run at you.
It's mostly a LATAM team.
Take it. And against teams like Wolves,
it's interesting to me that there's no like requirement for the people to actually. Well, I guess they don't live. Do they live in? They don't live in Brazil. They're just from Brazil.
That at least has
they live in it. Do they live in it?
There was always
they live in Vegas with everybody else?
There was always another corner and
I guess all the teams have to be in Vegas. It's not even like Europe where they're just everywhere.
He's coming up in a fight with 3 people tucked around all of the corners. Sure, he needed the skip. There was still about a minute left around that time, roughly.
That's why I don't get why the diffuser went up there. I mean, of course, you want to go for a bit of support.
They always show them with the like Brazilian flag, but it's just because they're from there, but they actually live in NA in Vegas for the
tactical timeout to come through.
LAN. Another technical timeout?
A 45-second timer where they have a bit of opportunity to talk.
Done.
No.
It's done?
Yeah.
No more time?
I noticed it out of the corner of my eye. It was X, that one.
Of course.
Oh, Xset took their tactical?
Wasn't really anything too great from them there. I mean, they did have that flawless round.
Yeah, every NA team. Again, I think in my brain, because they're constantly talking about how most of the players are from Brazil,
we're headed back towards the basement here.
It like makes me, it's like my brain associates
defense with 3 more rounds.
Their team with like living in Brazil, because they're always talking about how they're from Brazil, but they're not like technically they're from Brazil, but they're actually living in NA or Vegas. Why do I keep saying that? I don't know. It's early.
I think they need it. Obviously, they
have one like
tactical timeout. They've been able to have
American
the conversation with the coach, and he's the one with the
USA
eyes on all of them.
player.
It's still very
Canadian,
early.
but they all
You're
live in
obviously
Vegas
looking at
anyways.
Clubhouse with 3 rounds deep, and their round wasn't flawless. It was sort of this weird back and forth where every single round one has been total control. There hasn't really been
Punch the
any
air.
sort of contest as
Fuck
to
you,
who
air.
gets it at the end once the ball starts rolling.
And it's been kind of the case for all 3 of the rounds so far. So let's see if this one is going to be a bit of a blowout. Spirits with that blitz wants to go in quickly, waits for the opening to be made, and is going to push down dirt. A drone will be hot droning.
Run away, Shinka! Run away!
Smoke out,
He's coming.
Be way too far out. somehow will make out alive though, and that means that Dirt Tunnel has fallen.
It was too far, but he held off the person behind the. I think there's somebody behind the blitz. Oh no, he's over there. Never mind, he's outside.
Back to offer some support, a quick read, and they've just left Rise on his own. The Belgian, isolated from the rest of the French, is going to see what trouble he can cause on the top floor. There is still work to be done, but it's a quick take of dirt, and it makes your take over the top 2 floors a lot quicker as well. If we remember,
I was just surprised because I didn't notice their lineup.
That they were still sort of stacked up and not sure how to put the pressure onto gym and bedroom. They should get a cleaner idea, and well, it's steady now as they find themselves angling towards blue, where also things then started to fall apart.
Time is slowly starting to tick away. The first minute has passed. Twitch drone taken out the first one. Still one left that they can go for though. He's looking to
they've still got people lurking upstairs that they haven't like cleared out.
As well. He has some verticality. He can stop this from happening. He needs to be quick though. I believe he's too late. The hatch has opened up, but due to him not responding, he might be able to get a kill as a result of it.
Well, there's the reveal of Mowgli heading down the stairs. It seems like
well,
the Blitz is
I mean, there's an entire region for LATAM, so there's an entire
there's obviously the gate. A little bit of a banshee on the other side
league
of it, so he's not
for
quiet,
Brazilian
but
teams.
If he's still causing a riot, then it's going to be a problem. Pre-fires, peppers, and angles, except they've
really
got the opening here. P4's taken off. Gomez ran on the side of blue, looking for the next Yoga.
Ooh,
Gomez
that was a dirty shot.
And opens the angle down towards the back line. Rise wants to steady his way on, keeping a keen eye towards the rotation, but I don't think anyone's going to hit it. He's got to try and offer some support to the players that are down there already. Actually, one's about to come through. Did he get the call? Kino with the kit.
Nice. Good. Cold kit. And Gomez is just killing everybody. Oh, and the Blitz is still alive. Nice Shinka.
He's able to get another little bit of cementing down. The
Blitz has the case.
30 seconds, and they're going to opt for a slightly different tack. Try and take the single man, or potentially push the main stairs. Pull apart what they know and what they don't.
It is Rise that is heading over towards the blue area. One way or another, we do not quite know yet. Spirits will make it through. Rise gave away his position, but it doesn't seem like they were fully aware of it. Now they're definitely watching him, though. Plant is going down. Yoga will drop as well. It's going to be a 1-on-2 situation, but one is going to be a shield. It's just a pistol around the corner.
The flashes come. They know they're holding off the player. Shinka's trying to smoke out a bit of the rotation, but they've got smokes of their own. The longer this ticks on, the more
nice.
Blitz gets, but Shinka,
oh my god, play together, play together. 2v1, 2v1. Play together.
To try and buy himself
play together.
As much time as possible. The 2 remaining Wolves, they've got to try and do a 3-2-1, and let's go at the same time.
Fuck me. They didn't know where he was.
And now it's a 1 versus 1 with a shield. Rise is only a pocket full of seconds.
At least it's not a fucking Monty.
Maybe going through the soft. He's just got to take the fight.
No! Why did you do that?
He realized as well as he was shaking no with his mouse there. Spirits will be able to get the clutch done with the Blitz.
I think he ran out of bullets.
2-2. Equalized in the score.
He shot him in the legs so much.
Floor has fallen.
At least it seemed like he did. But video game said no.
What operators will we see? What
computer
kind of
said no.
Will we see this time around? Last time we did see the bender trick be quite successful. You cannot let that
happen. They didn't know where the Blitz was somehow. Because they were like checking the hatch and stuff. They thought he maybe went upstairs to
open up CCTV wall. Just to ensure there is pressure down there.
Watch from above, but he was still there in church. And he picked off Shinka, which is unfortunate.
Safe to play. You can stop anybody from walking up too close to the breach. Now, there's
I didn't see how many bullets he had. I think he ran out.
So no need to truly worry. We do see the Thorn coming out, so the Razor Bloom gadgets might be of some impact. Could be even comboed up with some of the Frost Mats.
As I said, even though they've taken their attack time out, this game has generally been really tit for tat. That was close. And I'm wondering if that sort of heralds the idea that XSET's maybe started to tweak some things together about the approach. The Blitz getting in really quick was obviously almost a big part of that, but being the full stop in the end sort of dictates that it was a bit of a pocket play. And it's not something you can bring out every single time. The attention here before was flawless. They're well aware of that. It's actually Wolves' chance to have to try and step up here before they, for the first time, find XSET potentially 1 round ahead.
That's what we'll be looking for. They want to be ending this attacking half on a 4-2, and if that's not possible, a 3-3 at least. Whereas the Wolves, they are looking for that same scoreline, just in favor for themselves. Time slowly being wasted, doors being opened up. That's just to put some pressure down onto, potential roamers on the side of Wolves. As the Nuck is starting to push in, just right up the main stairs, potentially with that drone going ahead. Could be dangerous, but you want to use those grenades first. You do not want to die with 2 grenades in pocket, not in this meta.
The first one didn't actually catch it. They're not trying to play against the trick.
Oh,
this might be the trick.
That's what happened.
He's gone undetected. The camera pings into life. It's the wrong side of a hot ping.
Yes, might be.
Mowgli has the focus and the awareness and pulls the player apart.
He shot at the blitz from across the table. He only has like 14 rounds in that bag. He went down to 9. He didn't reload, and then he pushed with only 9 bullets.
He should get the audio swing round the roll there. The EMP from inside. The drop of the drone to bait the play in the swing. There's still the angle, the pressure, and the pre-fire comes against the bow of Spirits' face. He wants something given to him, and Wolves are very tempted to play that.
I think he could have won that with if he wasn't like shaking his mouse. I don't know why it.
But it's a tricky one.
I don't know. I think he, I don't know why. It was just a weird, like, reaction.
There's an opening for Spirits to try and move through. The other player has just moved into a little vault
area.
Damn. Beautiful shot onto Bibu as well. We'll shut him down before he gets traded out 3-on-3. They know someone is still up on the hatch. He needs to pay attention to
I don't think he was.
Area. But he's also being pushed by Kino at the very same time as it shuts him down.
Shinka, he is coming alive this series. The
Maybe he was flashed. Hang on, I'm gonna watch it again.
Give it back. Leaving just Yoga, the man who got the kill from the top of the hatch, rotates round, 49 seconds. Plenty of time and a couple of drones, but they're not really going to be able to do much. The Bulletproof has all the calls. The one just tucked around. There it is.
He pushed.
Beautiful play from P4 there, and it was a very
I don't know. I can't tell. He was pretty far away. So it's hard for me to tell like if he's flashed or not, you know, because the observer doesn't see it. The flash did go off.
2-3 players there. They were able to finally find a kill. It's just that Wolves was able to at least get a bit more trading going their way. And now they lead again, 2-3, with the opportunity to lock it off with that 2-4.
I don't think he was flashed.
Back towards the bar and stage area. Now we did see that go down last time. It was the top floor that had fallen initially, but Wolves took it back under control quickly. With a quick 3 or 4 man push.
I don't know.
Coming around the
Doesn't matter.
It's
in the past.
As Exit has left it there.
Okay, 4-2 half. Let's do it. Pray tell Caesar and JMS, thank you for the resubs. Nimbus, thank you for the gifted sub for best red. Thank you.
As we again see Shinka. Fortunately taken out before he got 2 kills though.
He's that one bulletproof. The single bulletproof cam stacked on the top. They didn't really have the direct route through, or didn't take the second to punch it, because Wolves kept that door so exceptionally dangerous. Whether it was the player buried behind the bed of Bibu on the far side, or the close corner held by Shinka, that camera.
I think if he had reloaded before pushing and then used the full mag on the Blitz's legs, then he might have won that round.
To swing around themselves,
I guess break the it's always one of those like hindsight things, you know.
Has been traded out of this series so far.
They're all just pushing
people. A bit closer though, as the first 3 rounds were pretty one-sided. Last 2 were a bit of a coin toss. Could have gone either way.
I have Glacier, the like
looking to tie
season 1 Pro League skin. No, isn't that like only the pros have it?
Find themselves at a bit of an advantage. Headed into that second half.
I have a gun charm though.
Opened up onto Jacuzzi. I believe the Wolves players are starting to fall
back
slightly. Cool. They need some support though from the highway, just to make sure there is no trickery going on.
We didn't really get a huge amount of attention paid onto the Jacuzzi side in the back end of this last time. It allowed Wolves the confidence to sort of hold quite aggressive angles, caught out. P4 suffered. Will they get the final shot? The breach is there as well. They're waiting for the pin. Diaz could very easily
No, he's gonna get him. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Before anyone can get the pick back up there, it was an unfortunate idea, but very well played by Exet.
We said it before, someone needs to be on that window to stop them from opening up. Mowgli's going quite aggressive, finds an open CCTV. Spoiled out that someone's still being tossed in.
He's letting them open that because he's just hiding in there.
So he managed to sneak by. This might be absolutely huge.
Oh, they're going to drone him.
If this drone misses him, or if the Finker comes
nice.
First, the Finker came first.
The Finker didn't wait. He didn't clear it.
The next fight actually goes back to his position. They've slipped their way.
He's on the other side. Oh god, he's on the other side.
Bit of a dangerous stance. The pre-fire comes round on the corner. He's trying to find the angle.
Oh fuck. Oh, that was so close. Oh, that was so close.
In the meantime, on the opposite side, that puts Diaz alone onto Jacuzzi. Spirits has got to rotate his way back round. It's still worth remembering the site is down below. All of this time, all of these fights, and the kit being up here as well.
The timing. What are you looking at? Oh no.
Diaz and realize one apiece. Spirit,
Why would you put your
he's going
face
for the
in
swing,
that
gets the
opening
take
and then
versus
not look
one.
at the
Bibu,
giant
he's all
breach
left.
that's right
Do they
there?
know he's hiding around in logistics? What's the measure of the map the man has? Does he have the cams down below? They're trying to
What
hold
was
an angle
Shinka
and
looking
find it.
at?
The kit's been recollected. It seems like they have an awareness. Spirits is going to swing from the logistics construction breach. There's a pre-fire.
Nice, good, 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 good. Bibu! No, Bibu! Oh, that was so good,
Almost
but
finds
so
the second, but Exit are able to tie it back up. And good call there from
Shit.
whoever made
That
it.
all the
They
yeah.
haven't cleared out the
God, I
distance.
felt like he
Need to
had that.
make
I felt
sure.
so confident he
Big
had
Lee's getting
that.
a bit of a check. As soon as the Elders start firing, they knew exactly what they were up
Goddamn.
against here. We find ourselves 3-3.
Hello.
All tied up in this first map. Could be going either way.
She pooped. It doesn't smell good.
But it is going to be Wolves heading over towards the attack now. Can they make the difference here?
Attackers need to locate.
No, but what?
Or will it be Exet that show some superb defenses against the French team? Now,
That was such a.
there's multiple ways to go at this.
I felt so
Sometimes you
confident
do
he had
see
that
a bit of a
round.
roam, extensions towards the top floor. But you might also find out that there is going to be a full turtle set.
This I don't know what Shinka was looking at.
Wait a couple of seconds
I'm
before we
confused
find
by
out
that.
which one it is. And as you see, Diaz here with that final kill, taking down Bibu. We managed to get the first pre-fire down to the wire, and almost managed to get the second one as well. That was very close.
An even half. And now it's the pressure onto Wolves. I would say Club, with the lead in that we've had on attack, Club being their map and the sort of stretch that we've got ahead of us.
Yeah, just like I'm gonna have
Wolves
to
have
feed
to
her
really start trying
soon,
to
I
put a
think,
bit of
because
a
she's gonna
difference
start chewing on like
potentially
random stuff around the
on
house, and I don't want her
Mogi.
to
A little bit
eat something and
quieter
irritate her
this game
stomach
than
again.
previous, but thankfully and luckily for Wolves, a couple of quiet players have started to show up. P4 and Shinka especially.
Now there is not going to be
I don't feel like
any
anyone's
bandit
playing
going
like
out for the side.
particularly
Exit,
bad, which is
of
good.
course,
Like that's
you're
in
going to be able to open up most walls, even though we do have a
on
double
Wolves'
hard
side, you know,
breach
like
ban.
they're hitting their shots. It's
So
just
everything you want to
Exet's
get
a good
opened
team.
up should be able to be opened up, and but you don't see Exet really try and contest it. Instead, bringing out the Azami to try and go for a bit more of a maze-like structure.
So one is still holding onto the top of red. They've otherwise rotated the other players off. It's now
This is
cleared out.
in
You're gonna stick
Berlin.
around without any other support. It's the same sort of thing that obviously we saw the pressure before, but here Exet hasn't wanted to risk the gamble. They felt the pressure coming through from Wolves, knew the breach, and it wasn't the tempo that they wanted to try and dance to. Wolves, they've got time to try
Exet
and
have
make
used
up
their
here. There's steady
tactical
approach and a
timeout.
redistribution of utility.
Wolves have not. They still have one.
A bit of a box around blue.
Yeah, the keeper barriers are really great to, you know, give yourself that little bit of extra. I actually like the keeper barrier you just saw there onto the blue wall. You might ask why, but that's because the player on top of blue, like the baby steps, can be shooting right through, can be making sure that they
Yes,
have
these
an
are the
angle into
playoffs. So
side.
if
That keeper
whoever
barrier
loses
stops
this
that from
game
happening.
is
The player
done
right
because there's
behind the
no
bar
loser
is going
bracket.
to
There's
be
no lower
safe.
bracket.
Wolves, they're still not entirely convinced. They're getting themselves all the data and intel, and here comes the first bit of pressure towards a player. It's a shotgun. Spirits takes the head and pretty much everything else off of Mowgli. The C4 catches nobody else, but he's done his business. He's going to make sure
The Invitational in February will have a lower bracket, but for the majors, it's just best of 3, and that's it. Yeah, I like lower bracket setups. I like when there's like a second opportunity. I think most people generally like that, but I don't know, except for Ubisoft.
To play with as much verticality as they possibly can. Frag grenades are being tossed in as well, just to try and relocate these players. Get rid of the shields wherever you can.
They only have 40
Are
seconds.
starting to head off elsewhere. It's Bibu that takes care of that Mujam, allows them to actually
play,
get the
guys.
drones onto the site now, and that might be huge. Semis are being set up.
It's gonna
The
impact
Mujammer's
trick?
still on the
Oh,
other
the
side
Mujammer's still
of
on.
that wall. It's gonna be stopping that from
There
happening.
goes
EMP comes in, but an
the
impact
EMP.
is in the hands of Yoga.
Impact
Should
got
be
it.
used successfully indeed. You see it there.
Now
And
they're
that
smoked
means the
off.
Joker
They only have 20
will stay
seconds.
close for now.
Oh my.
Gets caught out, and so does Rise. Spirit's able to pop from the bottom, but it's Shinka that fights back. They still have all the presence in blue, but that's where the kit is as well. And there's only a pocket full of seconds. Gomez with a swing. Diaz with one more, and Shinka falls.
They waited way too long. That was too
For
slow.
the first time, Exet this game move one in the lead.
First time as well that the team has been able to pick up 2 rounds in a row. Now let's see if they can try and build some.
Yeah, it just
extra
takes a lot
momentum out of
longer.
this. Can they get some extra rounds to follow up with their just gained lead? Now, Wolves, they just need to stay calm. It
Technical
is
timeout?
just one round on your
no.
defense opener that you have lost. Shotgun is.
I like how he
hard to
misses
challenge
most
very
of that
good
shot
energy.
and
You need to get these drones
Pinka
out.
still
Use some of that
dies.
utility. Grenades around the corner, or even flashbangs. Make sure you time it all right. Because this again was like one of these lockout rounds like we've seen in the very first 3.
Now, XS statistically, I believe across the tournament, were the top attacking team in what is a very driven meta, and it wasn't that impressive, the opening game, compared to how they've played throughout this tournament so far. But if they start to find a little bit more life here on their defense, if they're able to turn what has been not their problem, but not their stronger statistical set into a bit of an asset, we might find ourselves in a very tricky chalet a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, I think they said at the beginning that XZ have the like strongest attacking stats out of all of the teams this tournament. So, I mean, a 3-3 half on Clubhouse is pretty good. I would love for Wolves to have gotten a 4-2 half, of course, but I don't feel like it's that out of the ordinary for it to have been an even 3-3 split.
We're finding ourselves for the first time.
I feel like that happens a lot on Clubhouse, actually.
Not the most common.
It's just that I know that Wolves are a little bit less strong on their attacks, so I want them to get as many defensive rounds as they can.
Quickly placed. There's the pressure of a swing round on a window, and the drone's just going to reveal the rotation of Gomez wider and wider. He's got a little bit of safety, and he's got a little bit of support here from Rise. But again, his army is just causing continual problems. You never really know what window is going to be the one that pressures you.
There's so many windows on that side. I hate that whole balcony.
They're forcing them against
Nice
it.
pick.
Mowgli
Good.
forces back. Spirits of
Nice,
P4.
nice, nice. They're collapsing.
Diaz taken off the board as well. There was a
They
bit
know
of a
there's still
jump
one
out,
over
but nobody was
there.
caused.
Nice.
By the angle, Mowgli. That's what Finka does. Kino, he's tucked in a really tricky situation right now. If they get the read and where he is, it could all fall apart, and it does.
Forget everything I just said. They're perfect. They do everything perfectly. No mistakes ever.
And another lockout round and blowout round to come through early on in this half.
First screen always looks so silly to me because that cop car is at like the wrong angle. It's like tilted.
It might go your own way. There's still some fun on the side of Wolves there. Just discussing that last round, see what they can change for the upcoming one.
Yeah, I wonder how distracting like the lights are and all that.
That you want to carry across towards the next, towards the current one. So we're headed towards the gym and bedroom.
Do you want a fun fact?
I want a fun fact. Throw them at me.
Wolves have the highest clutch statistic as a team.
Was it like 20%?
A ludicrous amount. 2 of their players are in the top 5 for pulling off clutches, 1vx's. It's really been, and I can't emphasize this enough, skin of their teeth. Wolves have not really had a clean game throughout this. There's only 2 that didn't go into OT. One was a win, one was a loss. They don't like it easy.
You know, they would just want to put up a show.
They're making it stressful for me.
That's for sure, but they, you know, also put up that show as a result.
It's too stressful.
It's actually quite funny. I was reading through it. Someone sent it over towards me. 12.5% is the average clutch rate for the current teams that are still left in the tournament right here. So chance of starting. Wolves will need that energy. Want to put back 2 of themselves against XZ to retake that lead, because right now it has been quite back and forth. XZ has been able to turn that tide though ever so slightly.
I guess it's good that there's not like a ton of blowouts though, you know, because then it's like you want the
Gomez
point of the tournament is for it to be the best of the best, so you don't want it to just be like one team running over all the other ones.
Wolves is sort of cut off.
It's definitely more interesting as a viewer for the games to be closer.
Work for it, because that's when we've seen XZ do a little bit of business. Pulls back. Yogo wanted to see if he could get a little bit of a lucky strike, but the upside down repel means that the player isn't going to be in a position to be shot in the face here. Some have stacked up towards the side of Jacuzzi. You can see Wolves, they're discussing, redistributing. They want to instead try and pinch and pull some of this control away from the opposite side.
Yeah, it's exciting if your team is the one, you know, stomping the other one, but
onto Con. They need to take care of logistics though if they want to be putting full use in that. I think Rise is putting himself in a position to do that later on, as the majority of Wolves is now around the Jacuzzi balcony. It will be opened up in just a matter of seconds. We might be seeing a bit of a quick pace here.
Smoke.
I'm kind of hoping it. There's the grenade round. Going to see if it can hit the corner, and it does. Mowgli bounces that right into the bathroom. He's going to see if he can follow up. Shinka doesn't let go. P4 finds one.
Left click, hold left click. So many grenades. That nade's going to get him. Nice.
Yoga.
Damn.
In the blink of an eye,
Damn.
lost it all.
Damn.
And another lookout
I know, I would
round
love
for
for Wolves to
Wolves
just
in
get a bunch of
the
flawless
seventh.
rounds.
They
That
want
was
to go for
clean.
the
Holy
place. They
shit.
open it up. The grenade is perfectly cooked and timed as well. And they find
That
open
was so
kill. They
clean.
don't
That was
stop
like,
from there.
you
They
could
make
see
sure
that they were like, okay, there's one here, one here, one here, one here, one
They
here.
are wooing.
We're all gonna go here. You go there.
Wolves howl.
And then, and they just won all their gunfights except for like one.
I was so excited for an EU audience.
That went so fast all of a sudden. It's crazy how like coordinated these like pro teams are.
4-4 turns into 4-5.
I know. Well, I mean, their better stat is defense over attack, and they were talking about how XZ have like the best attacking stats.
Before. So there is an opportunity for redemption here. There is that opportunity for Wolves to show that they can win on any given
But I am
side
fine
that XZ throws at
to
them.
be proven wrong. That was
Will they start with a roam clear, or are they
that was
directly
fantastic. These are
towards
some
the side?
really
The
clean
last round was
attacks.
quite
I'm very
effective,
impressed.
but, you know, usually don't
It's
go
best
for
of
a quick
3.
like a quick round twice.
So you see the two dots? So like there's the Rainbow Six logo at the
Say
top
that,
center of
no.
the screen,
Respect.
and then there's like two dots next to it. So when one
Wolves, that's 2
team
rounds in a row.
wins
XZ
one
was
map,
able to do that before. Can you be
one
the
of those
first
dots will get filled
to
in,
make it 3?
and then we'll go to the
Can
next
you be the
map,
first
and
to
then
actually
another
put
dot will
a
get filled in.
little
So
bit of a
whoever, if
distance
somebody
before,
wins,
almost
ideally Wolves
putting
win
the
this
dirt
map
there
and then they
from
win the next
spray
one,
out.
right?
But
And then
took
that's
the
it.
slip
And then they are done
to
for today, and
safety
then they'll play
with the
tomorrow.
breach. Spirits is going to try and run out this
Is he gonna-
instantly.
They're
The
waiting for it.
Thermite's unaware.
Nope.
Well,
I mean, he
they
was
just
aware,
get
but
in the
he.
last second. Bibu caught out. He couldn't quite get the break through the
He
breach.
was aware, but he
Mobley's
was
gonna see
just.
if he can get
Oh, they
some
got him.
right back.
They.
There's one. There's a second. There's a no.
Not a
Diaz
third.
maybe just a little bit lucky to get that positioning, but it's XZ. They have that body balance. They have themselves back towards the side.
I mean,
However,
yeah. Ideally, the team that I want to win wins. Wins the
Plenty of
next
time
2
for remaining
maps.
attackers, and
Why would I say, you know,
when
ideally
that
Wolves
aggressive,
would
they
fucking
kinda
lose.
pushed Wolves to go for a bit of pace. Make sure that Mowgli had to get in a bit deeper, assure themselves.
Fucking course,
that they could be
ideally.
going for these trades. Now, 4-5, Wolves still in that lead, 2 minutes to go. 3 on 3. Bit of hard breach left on the side of P4, 3 Selmas. Have a decision to make. Where are you going? What hatches will you want to have opened up, or are you just going to go for a horizontal push?
It's that sort of takeaway right now from this round. They've obviously, as you said, lost the Thermite, but the Thermite was going to use an extra Thermic and did on the top floor anyway. At this point, the Breach is just going to have to be a little bit more focused. Blue turned into a firing range. They still want that option because what you're up against now, you're probably not going to have enough to be able to get confident and comfortable dropping your way and trying to fight against the Mute Jammers. Even
My
though
cat
you
is-
still have the
she's committing
structure to break
crimes.
apart
She wants
that
to eat.
structure. That's what they also
She
have
doesn't
to do.
care that it's
You're
2
looking at
hours
Lazaro,
earlier
you're
than
looking
she
at the fog
normally
still on the
eats.
board in the hands of Kino, who
We're
is
awake.
a wizard
Food time is
with
now.
that operator, and that's something that they don't want to play no magic. Wolves instead, some focus on the back end.
Opening up dirt as well, keeping their
1
options
minute.
open. Slowly moving
They're
around,
very
not making
split.
too much noise, trying to bait out some of the
All of
utility
Exit's
as they do.
downstairs.
P4 sneaking through dirt. There's a barricade on the other
They
side.
know he's
Needs to
there.
Get through first. We'll give away his position. We'll give away his
Okay,
ground,
Rise is
but he
back
might
with
be
the
waiting for the rest
kid.
of Wolves to be positioned to go for that
Up
push.
top.
Oh,
Oh!
there was a reveal.
Oh, the
and there's
timing.
Kino. Just
Bro,
gets
I
the
hate
touchdown.
shotguns. They're so
Gonna put
annoying.
the smoke to stop the movement onto the side of blue as well. There's the ping on the player. It buys himself a confidence that they're not going to refrag, which is obviously where they lost players before. The long arm grenade. Won't get a full catch onto anyone behind it, but another canister comes through. The barb has to be broken. Exit, they're holding
They
themselves at
cannot
3 different angles.
tie,
Kino's
no.
behind the armory case, and Rise is trying to find a way to force him out of that.
It's-
Sprays and
yeah, it's
scrapes
kinda like
over the
tennis.
side. He is so much, keeping them further at bay, and the cross angle. Wolves found themselves once again in the firing line of blue. Recollected the kit. Not enough time to really
Oof,
find
yeah.
a fight.
Just trying to
Exit,
run in
they
there.
keep it going. They keep it going.
So
100%
it's
5-5
best of
here.
15, I guess.
And now the round that will decide who will
So-
be at a map point. Round 11. As we are all equaled up, it's some of these two
One
teams,
team
one of
has
these
to
two
win
teams
7-5, but if
to
they
be able
hit
to put
6-6,
even
they go to
more pressure onto
overtime.
the other.
And
Because
then
if you
it'll
win
be whoever
round
gets to
11, you
8
put yourself on
first.
6, it means that if there is a little bit of
that's
a
it.
slip up in round 12 from the other team, the round and map will be over. And you take that in control. We headed towards CCTV, a site we do not very often see anymore, as it is very step by step. Attackers have an incredibly high win rate here.
I really thought that Bibu was ready for that. It looked like he was waiting for it.
Make sure you have the rafters.
The slow-mo talking is so silly.
Defenders after that. Sure, they might be able to get some explosives in from launch, from underneath, but at some point those run out as well. You can also just send an attacker down to keep control of that. There's relatively little you need to do to go for a plant here, and that's what makes it so successful for the attackers. Especially with the Monty that's coming out for Rise right now, it's going to be very easy to clear out the rafters.
Monty.
It's the point of this, is Wolves, do you really have to take it to overtime every game?
I mean, at this point, it's kind of their identity, right? It's like they want to make sure that they're bringing it to the absolute last moment here. So
Look at that.
Spawn peak.
Yeah, 2 players attempting it, but nobody is actually over on that side, so they'll have to tuck tail and pull themselves back around. Instead, it's more of a direct focus towards it once again. Last time we were here, it was obviously a pretty clean sweep. Not going to be this time. Mowgli, first gone.
Just lost the ace.
They lose the pocket Selmas, they lose any control there, and they keep a big bit of control on the opposite side. Gomez is going to rotate his way back around. They have punch holes and attention.
Just a few more rounds and then I will beat you.
For that old traditional
and it will still be earlier than you ever eat.
Potentially the rafters.
Rise is still too far out to actually have some pressure with the actual Montaigne. So drones are just coming out to try
and they're all stacked up right there.
On his drone as well, trying to give out some information to the rest of his team. Keepers are being deployed. Gomez is playing in construction. There is still a player out in the bedroom as well, so there is the opportunity for Wolves that if they're quick enough, they only have to face 2 or 3 players onto the direct side. Now, as the multi starts to push up, Spirits will be aware. There is 2 impacts. There is a drone currently being watched. They will have absolute complete control and knowledge of where Spirits
if he gets knifed through the shield again, I'm going to freak out.
Impact as well, trying to stall Rise. A little bit of damage done, but nothing too much yet. Why do you shield Rise? That's the wrong moment to do
They were not playing that together.
Spirits gets a second, and next set look like they might be able to put themselves onto map points.
Why was the Zofia so far away? Why were you not like playing with the Monty there?
Seconds. That really was a great bit of control over the top, but you do have a couple of questions as to why the Monty dropped. Bieber and Shinka. All that's left, the old classic.
That was kind of a fumble on that one.
But with 1:08 left on the board and still a lot to do and still a lot of players to get through and no real way to force this player out. I mean, it's another for Spirit. Shinka stops them.
I mean, at least not a flawless, but Jesus Christ.
Top rung, but, well, a scrappy spray down towards Lounge and the drop, 50 seconds, and they know where that player is coming from. That door is firmly locked and the rafters are retaken.
This might turn into a bit of a tactical timeout here for Wolves. Plenty of time, not really anything they can do about it. Kino goes a bit aggressive on the outside. Shinka makes his position known, jumps in and gets shut down. As Yoga with that final kill.
Okay, so now they're on map point.
Are we going to see a talk from the side of Wolves? Because it is 6-5. It is a very crucial round. If you lose this one, you lose map 1.
I believe so. I would be massively surprised if they don't, because, you know, although it is obviously club, it's Wolves' map, XZ have sort of bit themselves back. They've never really let this one leave their hands. There's little
slip-ups, I don't know.
From the side of Wolves. As we see,
I don't know why the Zofia didn't sort of stay closer to the Montaigne there. I'm not sure what the thinking was.
It seems like they're starting to piece together how Wolves are tending their approach. It's a learning and a guessing game.
P4 having an incredible game, by the way. 12 kills onto 6 so far.
Let's go, Wolves. That doesn't really work, guys.
Coming out. They will need it. One more round for them to bring
I don't want to hear any more EU people
themselves and their opponents.
giving NA shit for their chance, okay? That was tragic, what I just heard. Let's go, Wolves.
Are on map point here.
I'm glad you're cheering for them, but...
one leg into the semifinals.
AK Gaming, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the Armory. Cosmic Strider, thanks for the 19 months.
It is Wolves still on the attack. What will their pressure points be?
No, they haven't been doing the triple replays this time. I think they learned. They have been doing like weird slow-mo voices, which are kind of funny.
After that, I always see an next set like push,
I don't know.
They just go
I don't know what would be better.
And hope for the best.
I mean, at this point, it's sort of back and forth for the side of Wolves. They've had their team talk. They're a team that sometimes does risk it all.
Yeah.
For just a drop of round. But Wolves, they are one round away from potentially finding themselves on a very tricky Chalet. Chalet, a map that, well, if you needed a VOD on it, there's probably no other team where you can get more control over the game that they've played it, both in their run in EUL and in this tournament already. XZ Locking themselves.
Nick,
in
what's up? Thanks for the
potentially
41
one more round
months.
is all they need to be able to take this away from Wolves and put a huge bit of pressure. And it starts over on Strip.
Bieber headed towards the con wall. The outside one wants to open that one up to at least elevate the pressure a little bit towards the defenders of XZ. Make the... Mowgli got down there. Did he just fall off the roof? I think he fell off the roof. There's no way, right? I mean... I'm quite confused about that one. He's still alive, though, luckily. But no more opportunity to go DBNO. So needs to make sure he uses the remaining adrenaline surge as well. Bieber is receiving a bit of pressure. Not quite sure from where, though.
Yeah, they're trying to get themselves formulated here. You can see Wolves there talking and moving and wanting to find an inroad. The drones are steadily rolling and there's a bit of confusion at the start of the play. And that gets popped. Diaz is underneath, hoping to either catch a drone or anybody else, but they're not going to offer themselves just yet. Instead, a retake. Mowgli around Lounge gets himself a little bit more picked up and still some pressure on the far end. Maybe they thought that there was another loose player inside and underneath, but it's gone at this point. A canister is what's going to meet them, as XZ is still happy to kind of just hold position.
This time there's no grenade instantly to follow up onto the bathroom player. Of course, there is no bathroom player as well, but P4 is playing below. Needs to be a bit careful of the main stairs here. Spirits is waiting. 2 grenades in pocket. You want to use these as depth charges. You want to get players out from underneath, and as the first gets tossed in from Rise, they know no one's going to be on the rotation, as Gomez takes a lot of damage.
There it is. A couple of pairs of grenades now underneath, and you can see XZ sort of still a little bit further away from the site, pushed further and further up, but Spirits is going to try and meet them with the pop of the shotgun.
So many grenades, Jesus Christ.
There's a lot of dedication.
They still have one.
It's going to not connect with
They had
the shield
6
just
grenades.
a little bit.
They
Undercooked,
still
so
have
it
one.
bounced off. And Wolves, once again, find themselves pretty much out of pockets of a grenade, a single one left. And where are you going to try and roll it here? Spirits is still happily rolling in this position.
50 seconds.
C4, he's looking for the fight down on the long range. Wolves, you're sort of looking at them wondering when they're actually going to start the swing round. That one's caught out. Kino, he doesn't really have anywhere to go, so he's just going to take the damage. Spirits, he's going to get caught. No, he's not. Removes the head of Bieber.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Takes care of them. Rises on the shoulder.
That's
he's
really
looking
upsetting.
For another fight. The shotgun's a bit out of range, but he can't risk it because he's so injured.
Okay,
There's
finally,
the end of
Jesus
him.
Christ.
Shinka, but 20 seconds here.
That was like 40,
Wolves,
50
they're
seconds
one body
on one
down,
guy.
they're 2 bodies down. They're almost 3. P4 creeps his way through. There it is.
P4?
Diaz
Hello?
with the
Is your
walkover.
monitor plugged
Shinka's
in?
on 2. And XZ take Clubhouse.
Damn.
The first
Unport.
match will be XZ.
I feel like they had like, Jesus, fuck this music, honestly.
They can afford to lose that next map. But if they win it,
I can't hear the casters. Jesus Christ. They had like 2, 3 solid, like really solid attacks, and then they kind of fucked up on like 1 or 2 of them, which is unfortunate. They had a couple that were just like, they made some interesting, I think, mistakes. Man, yeah, the audio is fucking all over the place. Okay, well, map 2, Chalet. All right. Back to the scene of the crime. I'm gonna go feed the cat because she's gonna start eating stuff that I don't want her to eat. So I better feed her the stuff that I do want her to eat. And I will be back. Where do I turn on my camera? This one. I'll be back, chat.
Welcome back, friends, and yes, our North American squad were able to take map number 1, Exet, set themselves up for success, and I have 2 annoying little pains on the other side of this desk.
Little?
Help me out with the
Berlin sounded a little quiet after that one, Jacob.
No one's cheering at all?
Quiet out there.
Ooh, who won the first map, huh? Who got it done? Like I said, okay, to be fair, can we all boo Jesse because he at least thought Wolves were going to win? He got it wrong.
I mean, I thought they did least win their map pick. He's literally not on your side. Anyways.
That's true, I'm not.
No, he is just trying to play you, and you fell for it so easily. Man. Exet, make it through for map number 1. Now, let's talk about kind of the plays that went down in all of this here, Jesse, because Exet looked like they had control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a weird first half, right? We got to see the defensive side from Wolves first, and they played a really aggressive, Wolves style of defense, right? They like to play all over the map. They like to play hyper-aggressively in the way that they like to take a lot of those fights. Mowgli did Mowgli things. Sometimes it worked. Often it didn't. It felt like some of those opening deaths really did struggle. We've got the highlight going now, though, and what I really wanted to highlight as well was Spirits as an individual. He had so many good clutches. This was the first one where it ends up being a 1v2 that he's able to work alongside Diaz with on the blitz. First time his teammate goes down, but Kit is on the ground. Spirits has planted it, not used a single blitz charge yet.
Any of them yet, yeah.
He's still just going to be trying to win this 1v2 as a blitz. This should be very difficult. Maybe he'll help out with the utility there. Shink it down to the pistol. Rise is going to try to take this fight. Again, 4 charges still. You'd expect him to get blind at some point here, but he still doesn't seize the feet. And somehow Spirits clutches out, and that's not the only time. We come around here. He doesn't actually win this clutch, but he gets down to a 2v1, and I really like the way he works with Diaz. Focus on his position. Look at that great little pinch onto Rise. And they don't necessarily know where Bibu is in this final 2v1, but the highlight still remains that Spirits is a great player in these late round moments. He's always in the right spot, and he's doing a great job working with his teammates to win these rounds that matter the most.
Other thing to bear in mind was that one time he got the 3K Rafters while Wolves tried pushing up with a Monty of all things. If you fail with a Monty on a Rafters push, what are you doing? Especially if it's one guy getting 3 kills. It's a little embarrassing for the Wolves. It does go to show exactly how locked in Spirits is, and sometimes we had questions. I think even I had questions because he wasn't one of the higher rated players on Exet through the course of the group stage, especially where he and Gomez are supposed to be around the top. But still, he topped the scoreboard here, 12 and 10. He's just doing what he does.
Yeah, you got to call back to that Monty play from Rise on Rafters. Maybe you should watch some Sapper gameplay from the last matchup. That was some decent Monty play.
That or some classic Anaton gameplay from SI.
Even back to that, sure. Yeah. But there were certainly some problems there coming through. Again, I want to highlight Mowgli. He was in 8 opening engagements in this 12-round game. That's so many opening engagements. And the fact that he only went 4 for 4, I mean, it's fine, right? You're equal, but I still feel like there were a lot of times where he was the opening death. They just didn't need to die because of the position he was playing.
So, some issues to look back on here for Wolves, despite this being a 7-5 victory for Exet. That's map number 1 in the series. I want to start setting this up for our next map. And first up, can we pull up those map bans just to refresh everybody's mind and how things have gone down in that way? And we were talking about, Clubhouse and Chalet, map number 2. It doesn't seem like the greatest pick for Exet just because of Wolves and what they've done over the past few months on those specific maps. But hey, it worked on Club. It was tight. It came down to the last couple rounds. But what about Chalet? Now, Exet's pick. Are there any numbers that we can work with?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, Milos. Yes, Exet have played this map twice in the first 2 weeks of the NAL. A loss to TSM followed by a win over Parabellum. It did feel like they kind of worked on their mistakes in that game. They were able to bounce back. I do think they have a pretty solid Chalet, especially because they went up against a Parabellum team that is notorious for being so good on that map, and they put them in the dirt. So it's nice to see that little start, but it's been a long time since we've seen Exet play this map.
Months.
Yeah,
we've seen them play this. It's literally been since the opening of Stage 1.
Yeah.
Which for a lot of people is a lot longer than you might give it credit for. So as far as I'm concerned, Wolves seem like they stick out a little bit more because their playtime on the map is far more numerous over the course of the past 5 months. The only issue is they still have the exact same win percentage. Both of them are only 50% win rate on this map over the entire span of the season.
I mean,
Oregon.
Oregon?
We got only just a bit of time before we go to break. So
Well, can I say something quick about Chalet?
Go ahead.
I think Exit really had a decision to make when they chose their map here, right? They could have either chosen something that Wolves have not played because they have so many permaban maps, take something that they're not familiar with. Instead, they went for a map that Wolves played twice already in the group stage. So they're relying on their VOD review power here. They're relying on their ability to read what Wolves did and counter it. So I really want to see a good understanding of the way Wolves play the game from Exit this game. Otherwise, this map ban phase was a huge mistake from Exit.
2-0 and A.
I said on Twitter it was going to be 2-0 Exit, and I will stand by that. 2-0 Exit.
Jesse, are you biting the bullet again?
Listen, there's no way Wolves get 2-0'd in front of their home crowd. They'll get a pity map.
Oh, a pity. Did you hear what he said? He had a pity map. Come on.
It's a pity map.
Look,
wow.
Exet fans, anybody's in here? Exet?
Couple,
Really?
yeah. It's a couple.
Any Wolves fans? All right, that's all we need. We got French fans also in here. So there we are. Let's take it quick. Our casters are getting ready up on the other side. So how about we cool down for a moment and then toss it to them? What do you think?
Cool.
Feels like a good idea.
All right, let's do it then. We'll take a quick one, and then we'll be back for our matchup. See you in a bit.
Willkommen zurück, Berlin. Wie geht es dir? I don't speak German. Come on. I was going to say. I speak a little bit, so I wanted to give it to you.
Yeah, you gave it a go.
I gave it a go. It took a while, but I was glad to see so many people here. We are getting into the second map very soon here between Wolves and Exet. Are you ready?
Am I ready?
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Is the crowd ready?
I don't know, you go ask them.
Are you ready? Are you ready, crowd? Come on. Does sound like a yes. So let's get into Chalet just very soon. Now, if you somehow have missed the first map, either people here or at home watching, Exit have managed to win that one. Exit have managed to put that one on the board. The Wolves are one down. They need to fight back, and this is their opportunity to do so.
I mean, it's not just their opportunity, it's their last one left.
It is their last one.
They've got to find their way into some sort of setup and position, and that's the only sort of drive forward.
The Howls are coming back out. How to support.
Perfect timing.
We're waiting.
Oops, wrong mouse.
For that final moment where we get in and see who's going to be able to take that.
Fed the cat, fed the dog. Made food for myself.
There may be a technical.
There might be a bit.
There might be a moment. We built up a lot of the rave music, and then the rave was postponed.
It's like when the drop is coming, you know?
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's just
the drop is coming, and the
drop's almost there, and no.
Best SSD to play
not getting the drop
Siege.
just yet.
We're
waiting.
I have no
Gives
idea.
people
I don't know what the like current market is like for SSDs, to be honest.
Bio break, got some drinks, some snacks.
Yeah, I think that's the thing as well. Obviously, we see it when people are in, when the games are rolling. This place is, it's round. Then it's only the first day. Second game, first day.
It's only going to get fuller from here on. More crowded, more loud. Yes, like that. Come on. Who was that? Raise your hand.
It's like one.
Who was it? Oh, let's go. It's Gabe. It is Gabe.
Oh, is it Gabe?
Yeah, it is Gabe. We saw him earlier on. It's good to see these, like all these people that we have spoken to so many times before online, but never really had the opportunity to meet. As we quickly go through some highlights of the previous map, just to recap.
Yeah, we got a minute.
We got a minute or two.
If you missed it, if you missed the first game,
M.2 is probably the best currently.
It was their map on club. They got off to an even start.
So
it was
still the
traded
same.
rounds either side. They started to pick up a little bit of momentum, but on that final hurdle, just shy of getting to map point, maybe finding themselves another OT or not, it didn't matter. Exet, they bit back. There was a little couple of moments from the side of Wolves. They seemed to run out of steam and out of solutions.
Unfortunately, they did, and I hope they've just had a bit of a quick rest, a new huddle, talk to Lilun and the rest of the coaching staff.
Yeah.
See if they can find something they can use here against Exet. You see, they're just waiting before they join.
Wow,
the
there's
lobby.
still a lot of empty seats.
Because they need to win this, so they're out. And NA will have a team.
Nargov, thanks for the 39 months. Madam Orange, thank you for the 42.
Another EU team after that, either Rogue or G2. Don't know which one is going to be yet. Be up right after this one. And focus on either side. Some just looking in the crowd, enjoying everybody back here.
Well, I mean, you want to get into it. Obviously, you know, every team here has pressure. Every team, of course, has a lot that they've got to get done. Exet obviously playing for the hopes and the dreams of a whole region. A region that's come off the back of 2 victories on the SI stage and on the follow-up here. And, you know, they've always been a bit of a consistent showing recently in terms of in the NAL and being able to put in rounds, but they weren't the greatest hope for the region coming here.
No, they weren't. I think Astralis really was that team that everybody was looking forward to see on the stage here again. They make some noise. They have these pre-game chants that are very infectious, and everybody really joins in, but had a bit of a disappointing group stage. And unfortunately, were unable to make it through, unable to find themselves on the stage. Elevated a couple meters above the air, looking over the crowd as they play to make it to the semifinals, potentially put on a show towards the grand finals, maybe be crowned as the new major champions. And of course, the 6th Invitational, that's what these guys are playing for as well at the same time. The more points you gain, the more likely it will be you will head over towards the side. For the hammer, for the World Championship, and maybe start a dynasty. Who Who knows? We always like to bring that one up.
No, it's worth mentioning. Obviously, I believe, based on the positions, we've had the amazing Sprabuni and Wrath here,
yes.
putting together graphics, showing us numbers. They'll sort of just walk up to you before a game and be like, look at these numbers. And then you're like, oh, cool.
What do they mean?
What do they mean? Well, then they explain it. It's XZ, I think, if they perform pretty well, they're on like a 99% chance.
I think all of these teams, except for FaZe, find themselves in a really good opportunity.
Yeah.
Someone 90 plus already being in the quarters right here. So it is very likely that you'll see 7 of the teams you'll see fight today also fight it out.
I like how they can see the lobby on the big screen in the room. I hope that every time we get a player joined, people cheer.
Yeah, we better get that. A slight little cheer for every player.
This is
that
like the
joins in.
perspective of being a caster, is watching the lobby slowly fill up and being like, yes!
Yeah, for those of you that might be wondering what it's like to be a caster, usually we have that second screen that is just this.
You can also see the
lobby.
You can see Medics is observing. Can we get
Medics is
Can we get a shout for Medics? Yeah!
That's what we'd love to see. I did believe I heard Easy in my ear earlier as well, so can we get a shout out for Easy as well?
So right now,
it's not just a team, it's a team of 3. Can we get one more big shout out for Red Like joining us here? He's the Italian guy.
man, that's like less than half seats filled right now.
And the Dutch disappointment.
Yeah, unfortunately, he called himself that. He had the opportunity to call himself whatever he wanted, but that was eventually what he went for.
That was what he went for.
Yeah.
That is.
So we're waiting, just waiting. Chalet coming up next.
I'm excited for Chalet. I don't know if Wolves are.
I don't know either. There might be some nerves.
Tell me why.
Well, if they lose this one, they're out of the
Well,
tournament.
Aren't Fridays usually kind of empty? I don't know. Are they?
I mean,
for
they've
like
played it a couple of
majors?
times.
I mean, it
It's
is
not
just
their
like
best map.
just the
as I pull up the
quarterfinals.
statistics
It's
in
not
these
like the
last
semis or
months.
the.
I have the
Oh, now
rankings
what's
now.
going on?
They have played it a total of 3 times and won it only once, unfortunately. So that is what they need to deal with here. A very poor attacking win rate of about 21%. The defensive
So the
win
top
rate is about
16
so you can already start to look at that and
teams.
think like, okay, this is going to be a very tough game that we have ahead of ourselves. That we need to win to stay in
Go to the
competition and
Invitational,
to make
right?
sure that we have an EU
Is it 16?
finalist to come on.
Yeah! A player's joined
That's
the
the
lobby.
first. That's Yoga.
I'm just realizing something. Hang on.
There's Gomez. The joining one by one. It is Spirits. And it's the 4th player of Kino.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh no, someone left.
Oh, he dropped.
Do we boo when they
No,
drop?
okay, so they need, I think they need to join in a
20.
certain rhythm.
It's 20 teams at the Invitational? I thought it was 16.
P4 and Mowgli in.
Each group has 5
out of 10
teams.
players,
Oh.
ready to go.
Okay, well, it's 20.
It is Rice.
Wait, so then why does the group
Who's
standings
going to be the next one? Taking any guesses?
qualified to 6 Invitational?
Bibu, all right.
Bibu. Wolves, they're coming in quite hot now.
Why is it only
Might be the full
16
team
in the
to get it all
global
together.
standings page?
Spirits
They're
comes
close.
in hard.
If it's 20
Wolves!
people.
Wolves win! Getting into the lobby.
I'm confused.
And we are complete. All 10 are in.
That says Hi Berlin in the bottom right corner.
Start shouting back towards the observers. It's the only way they can communicate with you guys, just by typing in the old chat.
And usually it's just us that see this. There's a moment where you want to sort of say to the players, do not type anything in all chat right now.
Yes, for sure. Hey, do you see that?
I don't
The
understand.
match has begun.
The match has begun. The match
We'll
has
see
begun. We'll see it. And we're in.
We're in Chalet.
We're in Berlin.
And Chalet.
Well, anyways,
Here we
Wolves
go,
are like
Wolves.
tied for 6th with a couple other teams. So
Exactly.
There's the house.
The house is
they're
coming out.
pretty
I
well
wonder if it's full moon tonight.
stacked for
The first ban is gonna be removing
invitational
Finka
points.
off the board.
Mowgli.
So great to see
It's
people
like
happy for not seeing Finka. Who's the
I
next
mean,
one?
just play Zofia with the LMG.
The Nuck. Oh, that's going to be an interesting one. No sneaking around the cameras this time for XZ. Gonna have to make sure they take them out.
They have online
Defender
qualifiers
to
for the
be
15 from
removed
each
is
region.
going to be-
Oh, so
no
16
chance to
qualify via
qualify.
points, and then 4 more teams can qualify
Alright, the
versus
pressure's on,
via
Wolves.
the like
As much
playoff
fun we're
whatever.
having joining the lobby, we're gonna actually
Right.
make some business happen in it. XZ, you're still so close.
I think
but
you're
you
right.
always
Yeah.
see the danger coming in. Azami removed there by XZ. Although they use that pretty
It's an interesting
exceptionally.
ban phase.
Yep, they don't want to roll that dice on Chalet, and again, it's always worth mentioning.
Oh, I can turn this up
they
again.
have a lot of intel
I turned it
on
down
how
because the
Wolves
music,
like to
that
play this
like
map.
horrible
They've
club music is
taken
really loud.
3 times attempted over the recent sort of swing of the couple of months, and they've only won it once.
Yeah, and that doesn't really speak well for them. And I just said it, their attacking win rate, 20%.
Exit won the
Guess what
first map,
side they're
7-5.
starting on? It's going to be the attack. It's going to be
You can see
very
that in the
rough for
top
Wolves.
right
But
of
if
the
they
screen.
manage to at least get
Kind
three,
of,
maybe
not
4
really. It's really
rounds
tiny
out,
and hard to read
they'll
because
find
they put it
themselves
on
in
a
good
red
position
background.
now. As we head on towards that basement first, towards the snowmobile and wine cellar, there's always this one hatch we keep on talking about in the kitchen. You need to keep that under control. If you have that as a defender, a plant is looking very unlikely in the wine cellar, as you can just stop them from coming in from the trench wall or boiler area. As you may, Diaz is currently
Yeah,
reinforcing
the
it.
better thing is the dots. The dots in the
Wine
top
cellar,
center
we
of
do
the
sometimes
screen.
see some quick pushes as well around the
It's just not a
snowmobile,
very
but those usually
clear
have some
thing if you
different
don't
operators
watch
with them.
esports.
So it seems like it will be a wine take from the Wolves. Some of the repicks come through. Now I'm actually quite excited about one thing, Emmy. I really want to see
I mean, I'm watching on a 27-inch
Okay.
screen, so I can see it, but
really good
I
on
agree.
Chalet.
I don't know
Because
what
there's a
y'all are
couple of those
watching
little
on.
pocket drone holes that just roll their way through to say, hey.
But it's not like they can design it just for if you're gonna watch on your phone or whatever.
If Chalet instead going for a quick loop back round, Gomez, he wants to pay attention to whoever swings round. It might be a scrappy fight. There it is. They're able to trade it out. P4
I'm
was
confused
the
about what
second
happened.
swing round. They had a bit of support and love, but they've lost
I didn't see
Mowgli.
that there were 2 people
Again,
on the
huge
balcony.
player for the team to get to this position. Spirits are still sort of keeping a presence here. They're repeatedly trying to find a
Oh,
fight.
shit.
People goes down.
The timing of
But there's
that
no
was
real
really
way to
unfortunate.
connect to that unless they really try and put a
They're
chase
gonna
in, and
run
they're
out
going to
on
go out
him.
the double door.
They definitely are.
They're gonna run out
Looking
for
to go
it.
aggressive here to confirm the kill. We'll find it, but loses his life as a result. People also dealing some damage to Kino, but he'll live for now.
Okay, well, even man count.
Very explosive start of this first half.
Health advantage exit.
First round. 1 minute's gone and only 6 players remain.
Only 1 minute into the round.
The site is buried down in the basement as well, and you're still having some sort of pockets of being able to crack it open. They have the breach, but they've lost a lot of burn, so they're going to have to try and force
They've
their
all
way
fallen
through
back
those
to
arena
site,
gates.
too.
Rise finally makes some boots in the ground on the building itself. They've lost everybody around the balcony and the double door. And a minute 30 for
They've
them
all
to try and
fallen
put
back
that
to
final bit
site.
of pressure onto Xset, who decided to go for a very tall stretch on this. All the guns currently pointed towards that west main take, and the idea with the open hatch, I mean, it sort of gives them an angle.
Only 3 drones that can be used as well currently by Wolves. There is, of course, 5 on the board. One was still in pocket, but we're starting to move them around now. Trying to find some information on these players. Grenades to be tossed in as well. Bibo, of course, was afraid of a player still being around in the kitchen. Not going to be the case anymore. As the ball falling back towards the side. And an opening needs to be made. Pings are starting to come through. That's at least 1. That's 2 currently spotted out onto the basement. A 3rd has still gone on scene. As they're starting to come around on the backside here. An opening soon to be on the board. Rice springs by, doesn't want to be hit through the door. The hatch is under control of Bibo as well. All they need to do now is create the opening they need onto the second wall so they can plant behind Wine.
There it is. Rise takes a bit of damage from the fight, across the door and onto Blue. Shinka is going to get the other breach through 30 seconds. And they've got to see if they can try and make some movement behind it. There's nobody currently going for the retake on the verticality. They're going to try and keep this as a 3 versus 2 on the fight inside. And Yoga swings wide and takes the head off of Rise.
Through the
Kino
wall.
on the backline as Diaz takes the fight. He's able to get the core and it's Diaz with the double. And Xset get us off to a quick start.
A very quick first round indeed. I mean, you know, with 1 minute gone off the board, we only had 6 players left at that time. And Xset managed to close it out. Too disturbing of Wolves' setup, unable to truly get their attack underway. Sparring Gaming is going to be up next.
Major prize pool is around 500k. I think
Some
first
way
place
that
gets
Xset
100k, and then it's
particularly,
like
but NA used
less
to
and
attack
less as you
Through
go
that
down the
basement
standings.
You go. You open up that small line of sight in the supply line or the pantry, however you would like to call it.
You do?
Suddenly it becomes impossible to play, or at least a lot of pressure to play around there. You can just jump in, get for the plants right afterwards if you have that little bit of line.
I wonder how different it is for them playing on land versus playing on.
One by one. Nothing really Wolves could do.
This is kind of the thing I was alluding to in the previous map of if Xset start to build up on their defense and take the you know, first showdown. Here, that's a confidence that leans into the game.
The invitational prize pool is like usually in the millions, like 2 million, 3 million.
Swing and win. All of them are very capable gunners, and all of them have demonstrated that throughout groups. They started a bit slow today. They started a bit shakier than what we've seen, but
yeah, I know that they're used to playing on land. I'm just curious how different it is for.
That is a sort of worrisome
like, do they?
for Wolves
I'm sure they notice a difference. I'm sure it's not too much of a handicap. It's just I'm just curious how much they notice it or feel it or whatever.
Just trying to find some
Before on a quick entry.
Before to push up as well. Drones are ahead of them. They want to find this
clearing out that kitchen area, but they don't have control of top floor yet.
Already. Just one hallway away, really. Just needs to turn the corner, and he's inside. Do they know on the side of Xset? I mean, they are roaming currently. There's a couple of them offside.
Now they have somebody who went upstairs.
One or two actually defending the side itself. So if there is going to be the entry soon, just Yoga on the supply line there. Then Wolves can really quickly take control of this.
They do need to put the pressure onto the vertical, though. If that goes untested and you just try and drive through, usually it doesn't quite work your way. People on the far end is going to try and get some control. On Balk, they've got a lot of fight coming towards Spirits, but again, this confidence. Xset are leaning in. Bibu leans back. Takes care of Spirit on the rotate back round. He's gone. Rise on the double window too, and they've been able to get control over onto Bedroom. Gomez now has to pay a bit of attention, but with nothing else currently being put towards that split, it's that steady change.
There's a steady change to come through. Mowgli popping some shots through the windows, unable to truly connect to anything as of yet. Touchstone taking care of some important ADSs right there. Gomez takes a small amount of damage. Swinging around in that library, they want to hold control. This is, of course, directly above the gaming site. If they do manage to take control of that, keep control of that on the side of Xset, it's going to be very difficult to get an actual plan through.
Good.
Mowgli finds one wall bang, but needs to fall off instantly. Gets up towards the second floor and wants to take library now.
Vertical is theirs, at least for now, but there's a deep rotate coming through from the side of Gomez. Do they have the awareness of this loose player? Because that can turn into a massive
I feel like they're looking for him.
disaster.
Oh no!
There
Oh!
P4.
I thought he was on his drone. I think he got off to the drone right at that exact second.
Yoga does strike one back on the little box window, and they're going to tuck themselves round on the corner so they can try and keep any semblance of support towards Kino. But P4, a slow creep round, 40 seconds, and the kit making its way from Dining. They're trying to find a cross angle.
Nice job. That was clean. Good job.
And Wolves is able to take that second round in control. Equalize that scoreline. Some smart howls coming out again from the crowd.
COD Champs prize pool was 2.4 million this year, so very similar. Interesting. I would have expected COD to have a higher prize pool, I think.
EU finalist. They need to beat Xset if Xset go through, and that would be either Rogue or G2. We get into round 3. Wolves just off the back of a round victory. We're headed towards the kitchen and dining area. Now, this is where I like to see Sense the most. They have that gadget.
They do.
Some call it the roly-poly, but I'll just go for the light screen. Blocks off everything. Of course, glass can look through, but that is, especially on this side, on the dining, you can throw it in from outside. Suddenly you can dig in deep right behind the bomb chassis, and there's nothing anybody can do except for toss over C4s, except for toss over impacts or smoke canisters or anything that you have to try and deny it. Because walking through that might be a bit dangerous, might be a bit risky. We're not quite seeing the sense yet, though. It is going to be Lion to be repicked by Rise.
And Nomad, they're bringing our Nomad this time.
P4 bringing in some verticality. That means that they probably will be taking that top floor under control first. However, Xset is putting in quite some resources, quite some rotation holes to make sure that they have all mobility they need to stay up there for a bit of a longer while.
Oh yeah, that's true. Competitive COD is like every year they have a new game.
Okay.
Whereas like Siege is the same game with new characters and stuff.
Can you try and break up a little bit of the momentum? Chalet does lean itself well into attackers. And if Xset are able to keep that bite and
imagine
fight
that's
game
kind of
before
hard.
they go over onto their attack, it could spell a shorter day here for the Wolves, leaving tail tucked between their legs. Mowgli's in, and he's instantly in towards Spirits on the bathroom. There's obviously Rise coming up on the far side. The ping's there, and Mowgli wins it out.
Close.
As we hear a Gon 6 pop elsewhere too. There's the E1D, there's some hope and support, there's control from the Nomad of these loose Xset players. Free fires and angles, Kino is tempted to have a taste, but thinks better of it.
Still, many opportunities for Exet to retake this though. They've created so many lines of sight that they still can fight on from the main staircase, can even retake from the library hallway here. And, you know, having Kino, having Gomez still out there, they're going to be making sure that Wolves is not able to open up as freely as they otherwise would, using, of course, the caber on the sledge. Verticality, it's key, just to get these players out of their positions. Try and dislocate them, push them to different areas. As they are starting to push in more towards that top floor, they do need to take the fight with these defending players at some point. I believe it's actually only Diaz currently on the side. All the others are around library. Do Wolves know this? I don't think they do. Selmas are coming out, they're breaching the hatch. That will elevate the pressure even more on Diaz. And soon they'll start pushing in from the trophy side.
Kino back towards the top of the door. Wolves there. Try and hold on. Just that little sliver of intel of this corner player.
I think they know he's there.
And
they would have heard him on the
Kino
drone, I think.
desperately wanting to push further, but it's Yoga that takes the first. Mowgli removed. Kino pulls himself back. He doesn't want to hand them a response and a bit of revenge. The grenade is just going to take a little bit too much air. Gomez is tucked dangerously close.
Probably think it's going to be close, clear now as the grenade just popped off. Didn't actually pick up any kills, so he might not know Gomez is out there. He might go for an absolute huge flank later on in this round. Flashbangs to be tossed out. They want to go aggressive. It's Shinka that will find Yoga. The plant is going down. 45 seconds soon to be on the board. It is before that finds Kino. Gomez will strike back though. He is up top. They need to worry about that as it's only up to Shinka now.
He was watching the top, but there was one underneath.
Shinka's trying to find just a pocket of space.
Come on, Shinka, I believe in you.
And he's got the alibi.
There you
but
go.
36 seconds.
Gomez is up top.
On the verticality, has to try and make his way back down. He knows they're not going to hand it to them through the soft here. He's looking
know where
for
he
the
is.
fight just onto
Shinka
main.
knows where he is. He's got
the kit, but they don't really have the idea on where the player went. Who's going to get it?
No! Fuck.
What shot that was on Shinka? He will clutch it up for Exet and then they will find
that was a nice shot.
The second defensive round. Unfortunate there for Wolves. They had the post plan, but not quite the positioning. Normally you want to have that verticality to deal with this. You want to have someone up above. But that grenade, I said it before, it lands a little bit too far. They think it's going to be clear, and Gomez strikes at the right moment. Clears the control on the top. Then strikes back and clutches out the round. And a tactical timeout to be called by Wolves. 45 seconds to talk about what's necessary.
I'll be right back, chat.
Because they feel the semi-final spot slowly starting to slip away from them as Exet take the lead.
I said it, it's risky, and it's actually mirrored image of when the timeout came from Exet from the opponents after the third round and the back and forth. Even though it's still super early, you have to try and rebuild some of the understanding. That was very clean there from Gomez. I mean, it comes down to a 1 versus 1 post plant. It cannot physically get closer.
And the thing is, you want to have that verticality then, or you want to be in a safe position, maybe even outside a trophy to take that fight. But with the position where Gomez was, there was no opportunity for him to either retake that top floor or to go outside the trophy to try and play it off like that. Gomez being alive, staying patient on that top floor, absolutely crucial for Exet to win that round. And they find themselves in that lead with both a map and a round right now. Gaming. Bar back on the board here. The round that Wolves managed to win before, but it was quite close. Exet wanted to bring it back there. Make sure they take that victory as well. And make sure Wolves will start to worry for their future of this tournament. Now, this top floor setup that we see on the pillar is going to be super natural. That's what you almost always see. It is kind of a focus point for the attack, though. You want to make sure you get rid of that player because it's basically the anchor point of the library. As soon as you get rid of the mezzanines player, you are able to push in library. Then you can deal with the player that is on top of the blue stairs. So the twitch of Bibu should have been crucial there, and I'm not sure if he got the bulletproof camera, but Yoga took it down before he did too much damage. Yeah, bulletproof gone. No, stays actually. Sorry.
Nope, just missed.
It's a big loss.
The width. And there's the irritating throw out. And that's just going to keep pinging continually.
Actually, Twitch drone used to get rid of it there, so huge piece of utility used.
Oh, they're out.
Capital?
Already gone, so.
Yeah, not going to play that game. Realized that all the pressure was coming exceptionally hot towards that position. We saw, obviously, Wolves try and drive themselves from the opposite side last time on this. They took the fight onto the bedroom first, and this, it seems like they want to be a little bit more direct towards the site. With that, Prisma still outside with the attention that it's calling. They're going to go for the hop and make sure they don't get dropped by the player. P4's got the close tuck in. Grenades are going to start rolling around.
Ooh,
that first one to get rid of the Prisma. Kino wants to see if he can get rid of the player.
Grenade used to get rid of a Prisma. It's not something you often see, but taken care of anyway. Gomez now playing inside of that little side office, not playing on the actual mezzanines. Will find the first Mowgli taken out. Goes aggressive, more aggressive in the library actually. Wants to make sure that this gets locked off. P4 misses the opportunity to go for that first kill. Might be swung upon here. If he doesn't lock off Gomez first, does so. Takes control, wants to push on towards blue. But
nice. Nice P4.
There onside the box, there's another fight back round. It's Kino and Spirits with one apiece. They're able to almost get the take onto the balcony. P4, he's a little bit stuck, and well, Spirits makes him even worse. There is Spirits. And Xset aggressively retake the territory and brush off the timeout from Wolves.
Wolves is in need of some support right now because it's starting to slip away from them. Map 1, Xset. This map currently, Xset leading 3-1 on their defense here on Chalet. And we know Wolves' attack is not the strongest on this map. 21% win rate. Translates into about 1 in 5 rounds. That is what we're currently seeing. But they really need to get a second, maybe even a third out to feel comfortable as they go over towards the defense.
Ooh. Bit spicy from Spirits, and
very spicy.
I guess this is that sort of glow and grow up from Xset. This is more like the Xset that we've seen over groups.
The Let's Go's are coming back out again, and they will need it. Give them that home crowd buff here in Berlin. As Xset, they have that lead, they have that 2-round advantage now as well. Still playing on that defense on a map that Wolves, well, it's fair to say, aren't really that comfortable on if you look at pure percentages, if you look at pure statistics. And of course, Wolves, they didn't have the strongest map pool going into this tournament. They have some permabans. And that means you will always be playing a map you feel less comfortable on. Again, that Prisma, by the way, just being a nuisance to the side of Wolves. Last time they used a grenade to get rid of it. Hope they don't do that this time around because it is a bit of a waste, possibly.
All right, Wolves. Sure, sometimes the first round after a timeout isn't yours, but this, now we got the rotate back round to Snowmobile, which was our opener. The attempt to control. The E1D rumbles across the many rooms of Chalet, but it's actually no closer to catching a player. There's a lot of utility being put forward here by Wolves, and it's being quickly removed. Xset, they're able to kind of keep closing down and punishing that approach game here. 4-1 drones left sitting alive, and nobody caught from the cost.
Not yet. First minute has passed. No control, really. Mowgli needs to be careful with his back there because there's aggressive.
Chalet
is
almost
gets flicked on, gets the first kill, finds Spirit, gets on the second.
A bit.
Not able to
His leg is sticking out. Come on.
Chalet
is generally considered a bit more attacker favored, I think.
Just caught by his knee,
but,
being a little bit wider there. Kino has kept this punishment
it can kind of go both ways.
They keep popping their heads up. They keep getting a response to every single time Wolves take a body, and then they're able to slip themselves away. More dedicated trade game has really come through for them. BB's trying to break his way onto red. He wants to try and bait the swing here, but Yoga isn't going to take it. We throw our minds back to the last time we were here, and he pulled about a 3K just from that tucked-in corner onto blue alone. Wolves aren't going to try and roll that dice. They're still having to clear the rest of the map itself. There's obviously still that Prisma out the top, and still a lot of structure in place.
There's way too much in place for the Wolves to just hit the site directly now. They
First map
need
was
to do
Clubhouse.
some preparation, and they barely have any support or control. If you look at it, all they really have is the kitchen and the big garage, but that doesn't let you directly into the site. 50 seconds. They need to start opening up. So the first one will be going on the back of the wine cellar. The second exothermic will be going on the boiler room wall. But Goma's already in an aggressive position to try and go right at Shinka as soon as that wall opens up.
Here we go
ADSs
again.
are being wasted. Wolves, you need to reply to exit now.
What?
P4 suffers again.
So annoying.
Hard-hitting DMR just getting the little wings of the Wolves players. 20 seconds. And they've all stacked themselves here for a West main charge. You can see Xsets pull back to give them a firing line. Diaz is able to finish one. Shinka at least fires back for 10 seconds, and Yoga's still on the close corner. The blinds come through. They've dug themselves in. It's a 3 versus 2. Shinka's going to see if he can find a fight. Yoga gets the kill instead. And now Shinka with 1.
He's got a plant.
And no one else tucked around onto a corner.
Yeah. Not a lot you can do there.
Take another.
Kino gets the lock off there, and it's going to be 4-1. Xset leading, only 3 rounds away from making it to the semifinals. And Wolves are seeing it slip away slightly.
We've been here before, it's okay.
They've already used their tactical timeout, cannot do that again. Some Kino fans in here as well, I hear. Keep it up, very loud.
Like bit by a bug or something, I don't know.
It's a lot of noise the NA crowd needs to make here.
I mean, it's the NA.
attendees.
I wouldn't say crowd, I would say
the attendees.
The NA contingency that's made their way over here. Because, I mean, NA has a lot to make up for, let's be real, but Exit's kind of doing it, you know? And you got to realize, ooh, if Exit are the ones that make their way to the final, then that technically means Exit are the team that knocks you out of this. And that means NA, there's still a chance.
There is that chance.
That slow-mo sound is so funny.
EU news.
There's still hope, Emmy. This game's also not even over yet. It's getting closer though to being over as the first map. Again, Xset says this first half seeming like it could be a 5-1 lockout. Wolves haven't really been able to bring all too much together except for that 1 round they managed to win. But even that was very bare bones, was very close and almost went Xset's way. So they need to try something else. And they don't have tactical timeout to talk to the coach, to think of these things. So it needs to be coming from the members themselves. Rise, leading his team. Does he have something left to give for this game?
Well, here's a lot of attention played and a little bit of a hold here. Kino, he started to find himself more into this game. Is this going to be a blow of pace? They're going for a bit of a break. The bounce on the grenade through to anybody that might be tucked onto the end. Rise is going to lock off the side. They've already suffered from the swings, and they're suddenly inside. Spirits at least stops the entire flood through, but P4 does find Kino, and P4 finds another one. Spirits is gone. The bathroom has fallen into their control. They're looking to see if they can just try and find one more round. Gomez removes the air jab and wants to now remove the person who popped it, but they're going to pull themselves down away from the double window. Straight through Gomez. Takes the head off of Rise.
It didn't look like any of those bullets connected.
They know they don't have to worry about that any longer. So as Shinka now repels in, it's him and P4 coming up on that south side. Hopping comes through. P4 is trying to go for a plan any time now.
It's hard to see that orange outline against the like kind of orange-green color of the. Oh, okay, they're planting.
Come through. They know something is happening.
It looks like there's a rotation, but Gomez changed his mind. It should be a post plant with the upside down repel, locking off nobody. But forces it. P4 gets the end.
Took a lot of damage. That was good.
A consistent end through a lot of sentences.
These tiny pixels, man.
Of the head, 30 seconds, and Yoga's able to.
What? He like sprint boosted across. That was crazy looking.
Shinka,
nice.
He gets the spray through. Yoga gets put. Diaz gets once
1v1.
again another end.
I can't, guys, please. I can't.
Once again, the C4, not quite the catch. Shinka pulls himself back, pre-fires through the soft.
Please, 7 seconds. You just need to delay for 7 seconds.
Play a bit of a cat and mouse game. 11 seconds.
2 seconds. 2 seconds.
At this point.
He can't.
He cannot hold it. There should be a Wolves lockdown. But he at least
he can't. Fine. Whatever. Who cares?
No time for the defuse anymore, unfortunately for him, but Wolves.
That was too close. I didn't like how close I got, but.
Can they now make the difference onto their defensive side instead?
He wanted to save his KD.
I love these howls.
The howling is funny, yeah.
4-2. Xset still in the lead. There's still some ground to make up for Wolves. And let's go, Xsets are coming out.
It was always going to happen.
It was always going to happen at some point. It's quite a bunch of people from NA have actually spoken to already, so.
You gotta make the journey. Gotta support the region.
You gotta see Berlin. You gotta see Berlin.
The sound of the beeper in slow-mo.
A turn of the half. And obviously Wolves at this point, they can only play the game that is ahead of them. They've used their tack timeout.
It was like beep,
Around
beep,
the
beep,
third
beep,
round,
beep,
and
beep,
well, their
beep,
fate on the second half of that was pretty much
It
the
sounded
same.
so, yeah, it did sound like it was dying.
On a good map for NA, on a good map for attackers, and on a map with mixed fortunes for Wolves. They obviously played it twice during their journey here.
Okay,
W7M.
4-2, not great, not
loss
terrible.
and an 8-7 win, which is a good sort of mark. They lost it to Secret.
They did
as
win
well
like
in
5
EUL on the
defense.
journey
No wait,
here.
yeah, 5 defenses against W7M at least on their defensive half.
It's these
So
mixed performances and it's these low percentages because the 2 times
I
they did
believe.
lose it, it was quite a hefty loss, we have to say. And right now, at least, they have an opportunity of fighting. Round 7, 2 rounds behind. They need to make sure they strike back instantly on that defense, not give XZ too much space to set up their attack. As, Diaz is getting in that drone from the trophy side. It's going to be putting that as a bit of a pre-play, just to get some information down. We've seen Kendry, for example, from Secret, hide in that exact same corner and knock down many, many players as they wanted to go for an execute. Could have even been against Wolves. So they want to make sure that doesn't happen against themselves on the side of XZ.
Mowgli, he hasn't quite been able to have the same effect throughout the series that he's had on their journey here and groups. Neither really has Rise to that follow-up. They're looking to see if they can just get a bit of a lean in. But as the box gets breached and the pullback comes through, the attention is paid towards dining underneath. It's potentially a very quick play onto this. They've obviously got the Glaz watching the back line, the smokes ready to be deployed. We heard them pop off instantly. Spirits isn't rewarded with a body. They have some awareness, but P4 is actually the next to suffer. Just checking that nobody's tucked in close on the corner. The only backline is far on the opposite side. The pings
they have a red
come
ping on him.
through. It's a bulletproof that's been watching this whole fight, not giving them a true engagement.
Bulletproof has been taken out. Next set is setting themselves up for a full-fledged 5-on-5 execute. There is some players up. Still on the top floor, 1 on the back of Trophy. Wrong timing from Kino. Still lives somehow. As he was being shut up by Mowgli.
Surprised he
He's
didn't.
gone in and dig a little bit deeper.
I'm surprised he didn't shoot through that softball. It looks like a softball. In the back.
It's an important fight, but Kino brings it right back round. They lose the Glaz and the ability to see through the smokes. They just got to see if they can try and get this kit down. The bulletproof was taken as well. It turns into a bit of a blind fight. So P4 digs himself close. Do they know the plant's going down? Oh, can you get yourself an angle? There's the cover.
Nice!
There's the man!
Yes!
There's a cold kick. They've gone for a bit of a retake
Oh
on the
my
top floor
God.
as well. The verticality has gone back into their favor onto the side of Box. P4 tucks right round the kit. Yoga with the cooked grenade. Won't quite get the rest of it. Diaz dropped on the door.
Yes, P4. Fucking quad kill, dude.
Gets that quad kill and limits the round
Holy.
differential to only 1 now. One more round and we find ourselves even. And the howls get louder and louder.
It
P4
sounds so
starting to
silly.
get
I love
fired
it.
up as
I love
well.
that. Ooh.
Not just in game, but vocally. It's a bit of
And
a
Athros,
mixed
thanks for
one
37
going on
month
at the
free
same
sub.
time, but will it be
P4 fucking just
a
decided to
4-4
win
P4
that.
with that huge play, finding the cover, finding the diffuser as well, shutting down the last 2 members of XZ. There's a bit of a fight going on.
Fighting. Let's go XZ. Let's go Wolves.
It's a bit of a back and forth.
It's a bit of a back and forth. But it's 4-3. Wolves already have that first map gone their way. Now, looking to find their second, looking to find their ticket into the semifinals against either Rogue or G2. And as round 8 is about to be upon us, we are headed towards the bar and gaming area. Now, verticality, library is going to be super important. The pillar onto the mezzanines is often a place. A hard point, as you may, for the defenders. Twitch drones often come by, pay a quick visit to try and take care of the ADS is often placed there to deny any grenades from blowing up the person right behind the reinforced wall. And no doubt it will be no different this time around as well.
Steady on here, Wolves. you've got to try and keep that stern face, and P4's got to try and keep a bit of control on the bottom floor. He's looking for anybody that might go for that quick route through. We talked about it from NA, the heavy hammer hit.
Whoever was planting the thermite got killed, so he was planting, but he died.
Remaining locked for now, and they're happy to just sit and wait for a potential follow-up and hope they don't get drowned and droned.
Pre-fire's coming through. Yoga hoping to find a very tight angle onto the player on the hard point, on the stronghold. This on top of the mezzanines, near the pillar. Spirits and Gomez coming in from the window. They might just be going for a direct push right down the middle. A grenade to be cooked. It's B4 with a run out, but it's not going to be able to hit anything. Spirits will find Rise. That's a great entry for the side of Wolves, for the side of Exit.
I was going to say not for Wolves, but at least nobody suffered behind it. There wasn't that second swing that Exet likes to do. Mowgli's in a very aggressive position here, and he's not really sure where he wants to go, but it seems like out of there is probably the best option. P4 might be under the next bout of pressure. He's rotated his way all the way up the far side.
I'm also still waking up.
Just to give some extra support. The drone will reveal him, and he's not going to stick around. You can see Spirits wants to try and apply that. The F2 swings, he takes the hatch. And
that was close.
Yeah, that's the wisest decision I think we've seen.
Lives, if he would have been a millisecond slower, that would have been his head taken off right there. So before lucky to escape after he had been spotted earlier, but that means he's still around and about. He's about to be chased down through the West Main area. Actually, not being checked, he shoots right behind him. That gives away his position. Two players of Exets now on that chase through West Main. Are they going down? No, it doesn't seem to be the case.
No, they've got to try and put some attention onto the site. They know they have a man advantage. If one is loose, well, that just makes
the Wolves use their tactical timeout after round 3. So they've already used their tactical. If they have any technical pauses, she can't talk to them during that.
His way off, caught out. Spirits is inside the site. Looks for a fight onto the prep line. There's one tucked on the corner of the pre-fire.
Jesus
Connects.
Christ.
Spirit then gets dropped on a trade, but underneath
Huge.
P4 fights his way, cannot get further than the second story. Mowgli. All that's left here is the burn of the Melusi. There's 10 seconds. He's going aggressive. He's able to take one, but it's Kino that keeps the 2-round buffer.
Mowgli, who we also call the Magician, unable to clutch it out this time. He managed to find the first, but Exit already too far around and too far surrounded to be able to make something happen. And the Exit fans are getting louder and louder as, well, they are getting closer and closer to be making it towards
the they only get one
semifinals.
timeout. One tactical timeout for each team.
Exit
Except haven't used theirs, but they're ahead, so they probably won't use it until they start losing.
Against one of 3 of Europe's.
Wolves, you need to try and find that little bit of magic. You highlighted it before. And we'll see if it can happen down on Snow, a site that evaded them both times, both swings on their attacks. Scarpered and suffered with not a lot of time left. That was the opener there, the swing from Yoga. A scrappy fight and a quick take back. Maybe assume just one on the prep. Almost a big retaken moment from P4, but the 4K from P4 was one of their rounds before, and it's something that you cannot forget. We said it before. Exet are a team where all of them love to get in fights. Wolves, not so much, but this game, you're just sort of seeing single-star performance.
We had to find it. I mean, P4 definitely putting in that work. It's just that the rest of Wolves, they need to step it up just that little bit more. And Rise, unfortunately, still in 0 for now, hasn't really been able to find his way in to this map so far. And, you know, that was the case during EOL as well. Went 0-12 in his very first game, and after that, dropped 13+ every single time. For a second there, I thought someone was about to be rappelling in there. Mowgli takes a lot of damage. Somehow escapes with his life. Needs to make sure he stays alive as well, because Wolves cannot afford that early loss right now.
I mean, that was that Exet throughout groups, the positions that they had. As soon as Mowgli breathed, he was caught. But there's a bit of a response. Yoga
he downed him, but he's not
won't be confirmed.
Be able to
just
confirm
yet.
that, I don't think.
Obviously, Spirits finding a fight of his own. The cover comes. There's the call, and that's the alibi. So they will know that they have the safety to get that player up. Rise is thinking about causing a problem. This drone is thinking about causing his own. Forces him second.
All right, they picked up Yoga.
Hasn't really been able to connect with the opponents yet.
Gotta be fully aware now that someone is around on those back stairs, and Rise will be falling back, realizing he's more useful on the actual side than he would be potentially dead. Slowly, Accent starts to push around the side. Kitchen and Dining is about to fall as the drones come through and confirm no one's out there anymore. That means that Hatch is under control of the attackers now. Still some prep work to do on the actual side though. 80 seconds, 2 walls to open up. It's going to be very, very much doable for Kino, who still has 2 of his exothermics left, so nothing to truly worry about. But the mirror window that's out there, that could be opened up, could be created to, well, fight through or deny one of these exothermics. So instead, they just punch it, let them not know anything about it, and thus it gets opened up.
The tricky play back at this point is they've lost P4. We talk about him being the big tour de force of the French and Belgian side. And now they've got to see if they can try and prove that they can keep this moving. Mowgli scrapped and hit round the back of the chassis, is looking to try and maybe find a fight before he's removed. He doesn't have a lot that he can otherwise utilize. The C4 of Bibu. It's a risky swing to take. He's waiting for maybe a little bit more audio. The smoke will buy him a second to cover. The grenade will go one way, and that is out of here. Gomez gets Bibu. There's a fight over the top. Mowgli's down.
Nice Shinka.
Doubles it right back. Rise.
Come on, Rise. Time to get a kill, buddy.
Managed to get the kick close and gets it even closer. Exit. Sit on map and series point.
One more round and they find themselves in these semi-finals. The only hope
Rise, I'm going to need you to turn your monitor
looking to
on.
make it through. They have a couple of opportunities to do so. There's no more tactical timeout for Wolves. There's nothing they can do. Nothing Lilun can do to bring this back. 3 match points in Exet.
Heartless, thanks for the 57-month resub.
Master bedroom and office. Instead is where Wolves up to go. They need to push back now. Wolves need to start fighting against Exet. Because otherwise it's going to be over for them. Their tournament ends here. And of course, he would have gotten many side points, but it's not going to be enough. They want to win. They want to continue for EU. So let's start the fight now.
It was just really well put together there from Exet. I mean, the drive through, it's the response that they hadn't really found on the first map on their attacks on Clubhouse. They weren't as tight, they weren't as locked in. It was a 3-3 half, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the Exet that we've seen up to this point. This is. And unfortunately, it's some of the bits of Wolves that we've seen. They were scrappy throughout groups. They were the most clutches and the most OTs, and you can
Now you're contradicting yourself.
Why?
First they were saying that Exet was overperforming. Now they're saying that they weren't playing up to their normal standard
Kino with the Candelas
on
and some long-range attention paid
on Clubhouse.
All they need is 1 round. Just a couple of connections.
So which is it? Were they overperforming on Clubhouse, or were they not playing up to their standard?
This should be very demoralizing for the side of Wolves because they see it currently slipping out of their hands. Now, they need to attack that top floor. Exet is starting to put up some pressure from multiple different sides on that map.
Rise
Balcony is being
it's not a good time for him to have a bad game. Same with Bibu. Bibu's really struggling.
The information is out there. Rise on the cameras is just trying to give some information out to the rest of his team to allow someone like P4 to go aggressive, to do what he does best, pick up an entry kill here as Shinka goes for the jump out from the bathroom window. We'll find Spirits. And that's the first.
A good movement there from Shinka. Takes the bite before they had anybody else that they can put in the position. Could feel the drones and the attention starting to mount. And at that point, you got to take a risk because otherwise they will take you. Yogo gets 1. Mowgli removed back with the control taken off. They're not going to have any more of the work of the Magician. Gomez, a slow creep round, hot drone forward. There's a bit of attention, a swing and a pre-fire, and it's Rises to take his first. Tries to
finally
second, hits the door.
Rise is alive. Rise activated.
Candelas come.
Exet devastated.
That puts the kick hold. Out on the bottom of the door on the far end. The rotation.
Yeah, Mowgli's also he's having a bit of a struggle.
Back towards Wolves. Diaz,
but Rise got a kill, so we're on the board.
To him, and there's not a run up being given.
Okay, now don't fucking throw this. You got 2 players on like low HP.
They might not know that the kit's on the far end, but they sure know they're in a 4 versus 2.
Wolves just need to be patient here. Just stay passive as you currently are. It's a 2 and 4. If you start fighting now, you might lose it out still. You do not want to give them any 1v1s. This grenade takes out Rise. Brings it back to a 2-on-3. Kit
Those
still
stupid
cold on the
grenades.
ground. Diaz would need to go and pick it up, but instead he goes
Come
for the kills.
on,
He finds
boys.
B4. Suddenly it's a 2-on-2 situation now. Exit against Wolves.
Bibu and Shinka, all that's left of Wolves' hope throughout this, the show closest to home in a long time. Diaz forced further away.
They still don't have the
Quite allowed
kit.
to come up the stairs as of yet
It's-
with
it was
20
like
seconds.
downstairs,
That's
outside.
pressure
They're going
time.
for the
They've got to take
gunfights.
the fight. They have no other option. The kit
But
is too far
the
away.
defenders don't know that,
Wolves are
so-
tucked into a corner, 15 seconds. There's a close swing.
Oh,
There's
God.
one down, Yoga, but he's not quite able to make it. It's a technical 1 versus 1. Bibu crawls in 7 seconds. Diaz charges.
Stay alive,
with
stay alive,
everything
stay
he
alive,
can
stay
to
alive,
try and
Shinka.
find
Stay
a
alive. Run for your life,
Shinka
Shinka.
is locked
Run for your life. Yes.
Wolves. They keep themselves in it.
Run for your life, Shinka.
But that was way too close.
Yeah,
Exit,
that
bring
was
it
way
back.
too close. Fromage looks mad.
Just do that 1v1 in the end.
I know she's gonna tell me that it should not have been that
Get
close.
for them. They will need it. 2 more rounds and we will head to overtime where Wolves have the opportunity to bring it back. A tactical timeout from Except. 45 seconds for them to discuss, to see how they can lock it off. But they do know that this is also time Luton can use together with
Now
Wolves
see
to
now
talk
now
to
Exa
them.
takes their
See if there's
tactical
any
timeout,
pointers,
but
see if
both
there's any
coaches can
motivational
talk to
speech
their team.
she can give to bring them back into this game.
Shinga opened and closed that round. And he's a player that you do kind of want to start seeing firing on some cylinders. Rise also able to find his first.
I feel like
kill
Shinga's
this
been doing well.
engagement, this game, and that very final one, but
Well, it's always the same when they
there's still
if
a
they
distance to go. Still a
if they
difference
lose.
for them to try
And I tell her like,
claw
GG's,
their
nice
way
try. Like,
through.
you know, that was a good
It's far
game,
from
and she'll
done.
always be like, no, it was not.
Big gap to be
Like,
bridged.
they did this,
by
they
the
did this,
Wolves.
they did this.
Not by Wolves.
We should have done this.
2 more rounds.
Because that's just how, I mean,
Timer about to resume.
you know,
As they opt to go to kitchen
she
and
sees the
dining.
flaws
The first floor to come
and the
out.
things that like need to be
Bulls
improved
needing
and all
to
that.
win 2 more rounds to bring it to OT. What will
That's her
they
job,
go for? Because
you know?
that last round, they managed to take a big advantage. Unfortunately, still lose out on quite a bunch of players. That is something they need to prevent from happening. Play around your man count.
Find it
Make
odd the
sure
coach is
you
on
use
stage with
the
them?
advantages
Why?
you get.
Where else
And
is
do not
where's the
allow
coach
Exit
supposed to
get back
be?
into it.
In the
Just
hotel?
Use the tactical timeout. They still had that one left in their back pockets and just flashed that card. And as the Wolves set themselves up, I'm wondering how heavy of a roam will this be? How many of them will be actually on the side, or are we just seeing them on the direct floor above?
Well, obviously, this was that snappy round of Wolves where it was a bit of an aggressive retake. They played against the smoke game, and they're playing against the smoke game. P4 is going to make sure that he has Warden's glasses, but it's not the game, actually, that Exet wants to bring. No glass, none of those pocket smoke, something a little bit more direct seems on the cards. They're going to try and force the fights instead, not try and play themselves to a ploy, instead do what's been working, which is destroy some of the hard and then destroy the players behind it.
Before rotating back towards the side, he hoped for a quick entry towards the snowmobile, but wasn't able to find that first engagement he might have been looking for. Knows Warden is of course useful on that side. As soon as the flashbangs and potential smoke start pushing through, he can look all right through it. Continue to take on these fights against Accept. Valuable to that extent. Mowgli up on that top floor is willing to give himself a bit of extra information, breaks the glass on the barricade, of course, which allows you to listen a little bit better to potential repels to come in. As an RC Retiro about to be turning the corner right here, gaining a lot of information. Hey, this first part is going to be clear. Nothing to be found but a bulletproof camera, so we'll destroy that, denying the information that Wolves have.
And a little bit more and a little bit more is sort of the Exet intel game. We can see the drones coming on the far side. The players still have a bit of a shield. Kino's just going to swing onto Rise's fight there, and he's going to try and move back behind the shield. And back into the fight once again, all over the break. They're somehow able to slip their way past. Rise is still going to tuck in and hold it a bit aggressive, and Yoga, he has an idea about that. Gomez gets the first. There's a fight, and Rise bites back. He's trying to drive himself closer and closer, saw the door was open. And he's got Mowgli for a little bit of shoulder support. It's closer than he thinks, though, Spirits. He's able to get it, and Spirits is driving himself further and further. Pre-fires either side of the door, and he doesn't quite get the connection. Spirits this time, but doesn't have his life for C4.
Okay, they confirm the kill.
Gets it, now Shinka. He's locked on the site, a big potential rotation from P4.
Rotates back up, wants to keep the pressure on. They know where Shinke is. The verticality comes in. And now it's only up to P4 in a 1v3 situation against Exet, who are on map and match point. 2 more opportunities for them to lock it off. P4 retakes the top floor. Makes
The
it
timing. Shit.
And that is all for Wolves this showing.
Damn.
They fought and bit their way out of groups.
Damn.
But they go
Damn.
further. Exet.
Oh, fuck off with your music. The casters are still talking. Stop. GG. Sag. Sag. I do feel like they had a couple players kind of underperforming, which is like, it always sucks when that happens at a tournament like this, you know. Like if you underperform on 1 game out of your 9 during the stage, it happens. But underperforming at a tournament like this, like the fact that, I mean, Rise only had 2 kills, and obviously we can't see what's going on, and it's not just about the kills, right? Like there's a lot of other stuff that goes into this, and I know that he's like also the IGL. But P4, yeah, P4 was fragging out. But I feel like Mowgli especially kind of struggled on both maps. Unfortunately. Bibu also really struggled. Bibu sometimes is like the one who's I feel like they can all have like their standout moments. And it's unfortunate that it feels like a couple of them struggled to find their shots and all. So IGL in-game lead. Yeah, so he's the one who's like supposed to, he's kind of like the, you know, the shot caller and being like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, and like these are the things that we're gonna try to get done and all that stuff. So okay, well, that's that. 8 o'clock. Nice. How hot is it outside? The next big tournament, it'll be in November. The next major will be in November. So they have 3 majors a year. In the middle of that, they've got the, let's see. Hang on. I will show you. I will show you via Paint, because I like to have visual references to things. Oop. What? Okay, so January through December, right? That's the year. Right now, wait, January, how can I do this? February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Okay, I got a little bit close there. Okay. February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Okay. So right now we're here, right? So we've got 1 major here. We had a major earlier. There's gonna be 1 in November, and then I guess we have 1. Was it in May? I don't remember exactly when it was. So they have the major, and then this is like stage 1. No, stage 2. They call this stage 2. And then this will be stage 3. So this is where they play EU anyways. They play online, and they have 9 matches in this time. And then the top 4 from each stage goes to, so then here is stage 1. The top 4 teams from each one of these stages goes to the next major. So it's like this. The top 4, and then the top 4 from this one go to this major, which is where we are now. And then the top 4 from this stage will go to the next major, which is supposed to be somewhere in Asia. Last time they were in Japan, I think. So, yeah, so you have to qualify. There's like 8 to 10 teams per region. There's some other like complicated things that go on between some of that. Like LATAM for some reason has like 2 leagues that go into a tournament, and then their tournament feeds into the majors. So, and then yeah, the invitational is like that's what they call the like, world champions or whatever is here in February. So that's what we call the 6 Invitational, or just the Invitational or whatever you want to call it. That's always in February. That's always in Montreal, to my knowledge. And that'll be like 20 teams from all over the world. It's like a huge, this is like the big one. So for Wolves, they've gotten a lot of points from the first stage, the second stage, and they're like top in the world right now. They're like top 6 on points. So they basically are like 90% guaranteed. I don't know the exact number, but they're pretty much going to be confirmed for the SI next year in 2023. This will be SI 23. It is a long season. Yes, it is. It is very stressful because it is just nonstop working. I talked about this before, where it's like Fromage never stops working. Like if she has, let's say as an example, okay, have they said when the let me see if I can find. Okay, European League Stage 2. They haven't said when Stage 3 starts. Liquipedia thinks it'll be September 19th, which will be in a month. But we're not, I don't think we're exactly sure. I think that's a guesstimate, right? So today is August 19th, right? She'll get back probably around the 22nd, I think. I think she stays for the rest of the tournament now, but I'm not 100% certain. So let's say she gets back on the 22nd, right? And then she has probably like a week or two, maybe, that's like technically off. Not even. She might have, I would say she probably will take like a week and a half off. So let's see, to the 22nd, 29th is 1 week. The 5th is 2 weeks. I highly doubt she's going to take that much time off. She won't. Like she barely will take any days off, I think. But let's say she takes off to the 31st, right? That's 9 days. Because then if the season starts on the 19th, September 19th, she's going to spend all of this time, even if she's not scrimming, like normally on her normal day, she wakes up at 5 a.m. They have practices. They will play like multiple maps per like versus maybe 1 or 2 teams a day. So she wakes up at 5 a.m. She goes straight to her desk. She works the entire day for like 12 hours. From like 5 a.m. to I start streaming, and then she continues working until sometimes she's at her computer till like 4 or 6 p.m. our time. So that's like 12 hours straight of working. And she does that every single day. And on days that she has off that are like Saturday is technically her day off, she will still like be working on stuff on her own side, because it's not just scrimming against the other teams, right? So like they'll start scrimming, let's say around this like region, she's actually working with the whole team. But in this part of her, like what's supposed to be her vacation, she's actually going to be like, if they have transfers that they're going to be working on, which like obviously I don't know if they're planning on doing any of that because it's too early for that. But like if they want to do transfers, they have like every team has like a narrow transfer window, so they'll work on that kind of stuff. She will just work on strats on her own. She'll be going over VODs. She'll be watching the VODs from this tournament. She'll be watching all of that. She'll be reviewing what other people are doing. She'll be creating strats. She'll be working on theory stuff, all of that. So she doesn't like, while it's like technically she has this time off, she will be working that entire time because she's just going to be, and also like, I think they still have French League. I think they still have French League. Let's see. I don't think French League is finished yet. Is it season 4? I don't know what season we're on. I don't know. I think that they still have French League when they get back, so I don't even think that they're like done. So yeah, they basically have like no downtime, especially as the coach, because she's like doing like she's got to make the strats and watch them do the strats, you know. She works really, really hard. So I'm really proud of them. I mean, when we first met, she was still with Vitality, and Vitality was dropping into like Challenger League. So she has worked to like first get the team from Challenger League back into Pro League, and then just through everything. They've had a lot of like roster changes, and I mean, that's a lot. Like, I know she wants to perform better. She wants this tournament. She would, I'm sure she would have wanted this tournament to go better than it did. They struggled a lot in the group stage, like more than I think that they should have. Which I don't feel bad saying, because I think she would agree with me. But I'm really proud of like what they've accomplished, and especially what Fromage has accomplished, just because I know how hard she works, you know. I feel like they've improved a lot. Like, I feel like that's the big takeaway for me, is that their roster has improved a lot. I can see the difference in their discipline, just from this stage to the last stage, because they had a problem with discipline last stage, especially, where you could see that they were taking gunfights they did not need to take. And that's why all the time I'm like, if you peek, I will fucking kill you. Like, do not peek, because they would just like peek everything and lose their gunfights, and it's just like, why? You're defending, you don't have to. And so in this stage, I can see a marked improvement in their discipline, especially, where they won't like that thing where Shinka was just like, okay, bye, you don't have the case, I just need to live, and like I don't need to take this gunfight, or where they're staging themselves up for crossfires and stuff, just way better. And like I'm not a coach, I'm not a professional player, so I don't want to make too many criticisms of the way that they play. Some of this is like stuff that I'm kind of parroting that Fromage has said, you know, but I can, like, that especially is one thing that I can see the difference, where they are way more coordinated, and that's really cool. So I'm really excited for stage 3. I feel confident that they'll have a really good stage, and then that means also that I'm pretty sure that they will be going to the Invitational, which means that I will probably be going to the Invitational again, which I'm excited about. And yeah, I felt like they were just very coordinated. So it's G2 versus Rogue next, but I don't think I'm gonna stick around for that, because I need to go walk Rhea. I walked her this morning at 4:30 in the morning before the game started. But I'm gonna go take her to the park, I think, just so she's not like alone. I need to record some stuff for YouTube, but I also might play some video games. I really just wanted to be able to watch Fromage's game, and the rest of it I can check in on the scores later. But yeah, I'm sad for Fromage. I know that she wanted to go to the semifinals, and I feel like, I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm not a professional, but I feel like she would probably agree that there's some of those rounds that they should have won. I think Clubhouse should have, I don't know, I think they should have won that one. Yeah, I know, that's why I took Rhea for a walk at 4:30, so I'm gonna go take her outside again. And then, I'm not sure. We'll see what I do. Like I said, I need to record some stuff for YouTube, and I keep putting that off, so maybe I'm gonna try to, like, force myself to do that this morning. Oh yeah, Cult of the Lamb was on the schedule. True. That was on the schedule. Okay. Oh, and I have a meeting tonight, in 11 hours. God, it's so fucking early. Okay. I am going to go walk the dog. I'm going to try to record some of the stuff that I wanted to record for YouTube, and then I will play video games, at I'm not sure what time because I don't know how long it's going to take me to record stuff. It's always way harder recording stuff than it is just streaming. Because when I'm streaming, I can just talk, and if I make a mistake or I slip up, then it doesn't matter, you know, because it's just whatever. But if I'm, like, talking to the camera and trying to be like, hey, welcome to my YouTube channel, and then I fuck up, and then I'm like, well, gotta record that again. So recording, for some reason, always is really tough for me, as opposed to just streaming. But yeah, so I think I'll probably be on, let's say, like 2-3 hours from now. Just to give myself some time to get stuff recorded for that. I want to make that recess video and give that over to my editor so that he can start working on that because it's been like 2 weeks or something. So, has it been 2 weeks or is my brain just moving in slow motion? No, it's not been 2 weeks. It has been 1 week. Holy, time is a just construct. Okay, I'll see you in a couple hours. We'll play Call to the Lamp today. And, yeah, that's that.